Okay. I think I've done it. It says that we're excellent. Not me late to my own stream, but it's my own party, so I can show up when I want to. Anywho, so welcome to Soup Night. We're soup nighting again. It's fabulous. It's wonderful. I'm excited. We're doing a new soup tonight, by the way, which is not typically like me. I like to get into my ruts. I like to get comfortable with things. But yeah, no, we're doing a new soup tonight. Very exciting. I need to put this elsewhere. And we also have a topic to talk about tonight. So all very exciting stuff. But before we get into any of that, quick reminder of our agenda for the evening. I'm gonna get to cooking. We are going to cook that asparagus soup. I have the recipe in the description if you're curious. First time cooking it, so we're gonna see how it goes. And I also have a few ideas, substitutions, swaps, and things that I'm playing with. So we'll see how it goes. But then after that, Susie's gonna have to eat. We're gonna have to feed the Suze. And then we are going to do our chit chat about my topic of the day. I want to talk about the leaked labs thing, and we'll get more into that later. We'll chit chat as we go, and then we'll be done for the day. But while I'm cooking, I'm gonna do like life updates because it's been a hot second since I've hung out with any of you guys on here, and I sent this to all of my out-of-town friends. So they better show up. It's okay if they don't. Honestly, I kind of have a little too much fun just doing this for my own joy. The other funny thing is okay, it's totally working. I had it open in another window. There's one watching. It's me. LOL. Okay. All right. I'm actually going to text my sister, step one, because she said she wanted me to text her when I was on. And she's my sister, so I do have to treat her special. Okay, I'm on. And let's tell our Instagram friends what we're making, and that we're doing it. Side note, I wish there was music playing in the background, but the music is messing with my phone because I think I have figured out how to use my phone as like a second video. So we might have 2 cameras tonight, you guys, if I can figure out how to do it again. But anywho, we are going to kind of get moving over here. Let's get moving. Let me get the soup started, and then we can tell the friends on Instagram. It's their fault for not being on time because they don't know about it, but who cares? Okay, anywho, I'm gonna need to move the mat before I move you. I'll show you what I mean. I have a little mat. Say hi to Susie, Miss Chicken. Actually, you know what, Chicken? You know what time it is? It's time for your Treatos. Let's start off with some Treatos for the Suze. That will make everyone happy. Okay. It's Treato time, Chicken. Come on. Come on. Yeah. We're going to get Treatos. Here, I want to show everyone what a good girl you can be. Can you? Oh, nope. You actually have to get closer for that to work. Anywho, but I have to give the chicken her meds, aka her treats, because she won't eat them otherwise. Let me see. Are you going to be good girl? Yeah, you're going to be good girl. Sit right there. Sit right there and wait for her Treatos. We've got one liver health supplement, and that goes in the peanut butter pocket just by itself. There you go, chicken. Good girl. And then we have actually, it's a 2-for-1. I put 2 pills in one pocket because one of them is a half pill. And so it feels a little overzealous to use a full treat cover on a half pill. So I just shove the little half pill in there with the zinc that she gets. I know, she's in her healthy girl era taking her supplements. They were prescribed to her by her doctor, which is my recommendation for you as well. If you decide to take supplements, clear them past your primary care physician. Okay. Yes, I know, chicken. A lot of talking just to get you your second Treato. Okay. Okay, there's Treato. Good girl, Miss Chicken. Okay, you're all done now. Say goodbye to your friends. She's still just going to hang out in here with us, but You won't be able to see her as much because she'll be down there. My sister says that she's delayed. She's also texting me when she could be typing in the chat like a good sister. And, oh, hold on. I just want to make sure that's working. Excellent. Not me late to my own stream, but it's my own party, so I can show up. Also have... Yeah, it's working. Okay. I'm paranoid. Anywho, so, okay, we've done Tritos. Let's get going on the cooking of it all. I'm going to move you guys over here with me, but I got to move the mat first. That was what we were talking about beforehand. Oh, and it is... Actually, you know what? We'll just transition it in front of the stove for me. That's fun for me. Okay, this goes back up. And then we see what we're getting into with this recipe, because honestly, I just kind of scanned it. I'm not sure that I did a whole assessment of what I was getting myself into, but I had a lot of fun picking up things at the farmer's market. So that is going to be a good time for myself. Now, should I have done my dishes before starting this project? Possibly, but what's done is done. I'm just going to shove them out of the way. Okay. You're coming over here with me. This is kitchen / my cutting board area. We have got the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful asparagus that we're going to use for our asparagus soup. I was going to make a tomato soup, actually. I was in a tomato soup mood, but tomatoes, like it's going to be like another month or so before we get like the really good tomatoes, but asparagus is in season right now. So then I was like, oh, asparagus soup. And like that feels a little bit lighter, a little bit more fun. I have ideas of how I can use it throughout the week too in different dishes. So excited for that. And then I got some bread at the farmer's market as well. Some sourdough, although my sister is on a sourdough kick right now. She made one of those sourdough bunnies for Easter, and it was really, really cool. But so when I go back to see her in May, I'm going to ask for some starters so I can be making my own sourdough instead of getting it at the farmer's market, because I do like bread baking. I don't do it that often, but I want to get into it more this year. Let's see how this is. Oh, yes. I'm excited about this. And then actually, I was thinking I'm going to chop some of this up to make some croutons to go on the soup. So on the soup, classic asparagus soup, bright greens. We're going to be doing the asparagus, using leeks instead of onions, garlic. I got carrots because I usually get carrots because usually I'm making midnight soup, which is like a chicken soup variation. So it uses a mirepoix, the Holy Trinity. But so I usually get carrots. So I was grabbing them anyway, but also I don't actually eat carrots, but Susie loves them. They are her crunchies. And so I felt bad not getting them. So I love using carrot tops. I usually use it like in place of parsley and stuff. So I was thinking I could throw a bunch of this into the soup and give it like a nice little carrot flavor. Cook it in there and then use some of it to chop for dusting on top, because apparently that's how I like to top all of my soups now. But so that's what we're gonna do with the carrot, lemon to brighten it all up, obviously. And then in terms of the dairy, the recipe creator, Miss, what's her name? We are in this together, you and me. We are looking up together. This is live. What's her name? Love and Lemons. Janine. Janine over at Love and Lemons wants us to use heavy cream in the recipe, which is traditional. I'm not, and I'm nothing against Janine, obviously. I think that she's probably in the right there. But I already had half and half and sour cream because I am a Midwesterner. So I was thinking I could just like loosen up the sour cream with some, or just use half and half, but like definitely like do a dollop of sour cream or something. Cause I just, the little something that sour cream gives to things is just, it's for me. It's my thing. I love it. Okay. So that's what we're doing with all of this. We're going to have to clean this up. But before we get there, I want to get some potatoes in the oven. That's what I want to do first. We are going to roast some sweet potatoes. 400 feels right. Some sweet potatoes that I got at the TJ's. I didn't get everything at the farmer's market. Some things I got at the TJ's. But so I usually only grab like one sweet potato at a time. But again, the greedy chicken, she is down here. The greedy chicken, she loves sweet potato. Yes, she does. So I've been roasting it and then putting some roasted sweet potato in her meals. So I was already going to be grabbing them. And then one of my favorite little dessert recipes is some sweet potato brownies that I make for when it's like I just have a chocolate craving, but I'm not ready and open for the full experience of a sugar-laden dessert. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but sometimes it's just like, that's not what I'm looking for. This is like it gives me my chocolatey joy. And I use Malton sea salt on top. So it's like, it's still delicious. It's still delicious. Okay, good. Madeline said that it's working. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna wrap these up in foil and stab them and then put them in the oven. That's gonna be step one. Right, Miss Chicken? Okay, this is my breadboard. I did not know. I like that I have it though. Okay, let's pull these all out. I got a bag of smaller ones because like it's 2 pounds, so they just kind of weigh them. But I grabbed smaller ones because they will roast faster because they are smaller. And I don't want to have to roast these for like 2 hours in there, okay, to get through like a big sweet potato. We're just gonna fast, quick and dirty, if you will. But so we're just going to oil them. Anywho, so I'm very happy to be home. I have been traveling for what felt like 87 years, doing all wonderful, fun, exciting things. Oh, we have another friend. Oh, hi, Mel and Mel's mom. It's nice to meet you. But yeah, no, I had been traveling. Went to, Chicago. I went to Scottsdale. I went to Palm Springs. I went to Sonoma. Like all fun, exciting things of, work and bachelorette weekends and seeing friends and family and whatnot. But at the end of it, it was just like, ooh, it had been non-stop. And then so that ended a couple of weeks ago, I will say. But you know how it just takes a minute to heal, like to rest back up from things. So I then, like maybe a week and a half later, had to immediately then go back out to Scottsdale because of my tooth. And if you're not aware of that saga, the short of that is simply that I cracked my tooth in half like 2 days before Christmas. And I was going to Scottsdale to see family. So my sister very kindly texted my my dental x-rays to her friend who's a dentist, and she got me a recommendation to see an oral surgeon to get it pulled out there. So as a thank you, I wanted to go to her to get the crown done because, should we do a tooth update? Let's see. We are fully healed. I got the full approval from the oral surgeon when I was out 2 weekends ago now? Last weekend? Ugh. Time isn't real. Time is a social construct. Anywho, when I was out either last weekend or weekend before. Weekend before. Yes. Because I did other things last weekend. So the weekend before. But so I got the A-OK, and then that Friday, and then that Monday, I went in to get looked at for my crown, but they couldn't do the crown the same day because it's not like a traditional crown. You just kind of glue a piece over an existing tooth to protect it. But there is no tooth. They had to make a whole tooth for me, and there's basically like a little screw in it that then screws into the implant that's in my jaw now. But so the thing is, that takes a minute to make a whole new tooth. So I have to go back now in a couple of weeks to get my new tooth and hope that it looks perfect, because the wedding is in late May. And we are running out of time, team. And I don't necessarily care if I'm in the wedding photos with a missing tooth. I mean, if anything at this point, can't they just Photoshop me a tooth? Like, I'll throw some extra money as an apology, I guess. Sorry that I was toothless. But my mother does care. And, you know, it would be nice for my brother and my sister-in-law if I looked good in the photos. Not that I wouldn't look good in the photos without a tooth. I'm gonna look good in the photos regardless. But if we can be our hottest selves, why would we not? You know what I mean? All right, almost done wrapping these guys up. And then they're gonna go into the oven. This is actually a little odd for me because the last couple of soup nights that I've done, I'm making a different soup, but the other thing is I'm usually making a stock beforehand before I get to the soup. So usually at this point, it's like I've already got things like up and running and like we're in the midst when I hop on. But this time around, the soup comes together pretty quickly, but also we're going to be using some of my leftover chicken stock that I have in my freezer for this recipe. It calls for like, you know, a vegetable stock or a broth, and so I'm just going to swap that in anyway. But I had that left over, so I didn't need to make any more. So it really feels like you're joining me right here from the beginning, folks. And this is we're going to take our time and have fun with this. Okay. Odds that there are going to be pans in here that have been overheating the whole time, I'm going to say 85%. Let's see if I'm right. Oh, it's actually only one, but I do like to keep on the bottom rack to catch any of the caramelized juices that escape the potatoes. So that is an approved pan. Look at me go. All right, I'm just going to throw all these in there. So many little potatoes. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll let those go until I can like start smelling them, and then I'll just start giving them a squeeze until they feel soft enough. But I only need 1 cup for the sweet potato brownies, so the rest can be for the chicken dinners, which is perfect. 2 birds, 1 stone. I need a better a better idiom than that one. That one just feels a little violent. Why am I killing a bird at all? What did the bird ever do to me? Speaking of, the chicken did get, she did get a small bird one time when we were back out in my parents' backyard. So she succeeded and it was a bummer for me. But so she's killing birds, but like that's what she does. Why do I want to kill a bird? 2 birds, 1 scone. Okay, so fun, but what type of bird is in this scone? Oh, feed 2 birds with 1 scone. Okay, that makes more sense. I like that better. Let us feed the birds. Okay, 2 birds, 1 scone. I like this. Adopted. Okay, so sweet potatoes are in the oven. Let's start cleaning off some of these vegetables. And like I said, if you see anything in my sink, no, you didn't. There's nothing in my sink. My sink is completely empty and clean. I don't know what you're talking about. I actually just got this new, little like drying rack to sit on top, because it's a pretty decently sized sink. I'm blocking it so you can't tell, but like that's a decently sized sink. So I could, put a section over there for drying things. But so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of shove this shit over here. And if we all agree not to see it, then it doesn't exist, okay? Although this is me just soaking her bowl so that it's easier to clean out, so that can actually be somewhat cleaned. And then so a fun fact about me, and you're allowed to feel however you decide that you want to feel about this, but I like to drink cold water basically only. I don't like lukewarm water. And so in order to make sure that that happens, I don't have a pitcher because then I forget to fill the pitcher. But if I have just a menagerie of pre-filled water bottles, then one of these will have water in it and be cold. So that's my strategy for always having cold water. So I do keep the water bottles that I buy to refill them, but the ones that are glass are always for company. So that's water that I pour out of and never drink out of. But yeah, I wouldn't offer any of my refilled water bottles to anyone because those are mine. Those are for me to take if I'm like heading out to the car or something. Anyhoozle, we are going to save this. I don't know why this brag tag is out, but we're going to put it away because it has a place to go right there. And that beep means that the sweet potatoes are to temp. So those are going to get roasty toasty. Now let's pull out our colander and rinse some of this shit off because it just came from the ground. And that's where we want it to come from. But we should get some of the extra ground that came with off of it before we cook with it. Unless, look, if that's your journey, that's your journey. I would never stop you. This is what you're doing in your kitchen is not my business. Just as, well, I'm making it your business right now. So I think that there's a flaw in my logic immediately because I have made my kitchen your business currently. But you know what? Contradictions can exist. What happens in my kitchen is none of your business. Okay? Except for when you watch it. All right, let's. All right. Ugh. With leeks, you really got to get in there because it's got all the little leaves, and so you have to get in there to make sure that it gets clean. There we go. There we go. Clean off the asparagus. Yay. And then we'll do the carrots really quick too. Although these ones just kind of get a zhushed just because you don't want the carrot tops to be super wet. And also, I'm feeding the carrots to the dog. So if there's a little dirt on it, it'll be good for her. Okay, and then, technically the lemon. Wash off the lemon. Okay, everything is washed. Everything is washed. Let me grab a towel to mop that up. I did a cute little mini panic clean of the visible parts around here. So my menagerie of towels that usually is floating all over the kitchen they have been requisitioned over to the living room where you can't see them. That is the magic of television. Anyhoozle, we washed, let's do some wine before we go any further. Let me see what I've got. You know what? Hold on, let me see. You guys, for context, you guys are on top of my bar cart right now, so I have to go under you for the wine. Just give me a second. Okay. Ooh. Okay, we've got Cab Sauv and Tempranillo. What do we think is going to go better? I am a Cab Sauv kind of babe. That is me. I'm not usually as Tempranillo, but it might go nice with, you know what? I'm just going to do what I know I'm going to like. So I'm going to do the Cab Sauv. And this is from, hold on. I want you to see the label while I pronounce this because I have to imagine this is German. Gundlach Bundschuh. Their Cabernet Sauvignon. We got to go when I was in Sonoma for my lovely sister-in-law-to-be's bachelorette weekend that we did in Sonoma. We did wine country. And I really liked Good Luck Bonjour. It was a really cute little winery. They have like this little outdoor, like patio, like kind of like almost like a campground kind of feel of like picnic tables and, you know, green grass and like a beautiful view over the valley. And they do a really great job of teaching you about the wines as you're drinking them. But anyhoozle, I liked it. So I signed up for their like quarterly little wine club. And 4 of them came. And I've had the Cab Franc, which was delicious. And was the other, did I have the Pinot already maybe? It's unlike me to be super willing to drink Pinot, but I feel like there was a Pinot in the box. We may never know, team. We may never know. Yeah, no, because it's not like it's up there. Yeah, no, because they were all below. Okay, we've got her open. And then, hold please, we have, I don't know what you would, it's a little mini aerator, essentially, is what it is. It's a little fox. But my sister-in-law-to-be, Cassie, this is like her, like, go-to gift for people. I have, like, everyone in my family has been gifted one. I asked for the fox. You get the one that, like, goes with your vibe. So, like, my parents got the stag because of our, you know, family crest, you know. But so it, like, aerates your wine for you right from the bottle. So, super fancy. And then I need a wine glass. What are you grumbling about, Miss Chicken? You have easily another 45 minutes before dinner. So there's no need to be grumbling about it. She walked away. Oh my God, she's such a teenager. One thing that I do need is I need new wine glasses. This is the set that my best friend Gabrielle got for me when I graduated college. And I've had other wine glasses, but people keep breaking them. And by people, I mean 80% of it has been me, but 20% of it has been other people, okay? So sometimes it's not me. Anyhoozle. So the only ones that are left are the ones from the set that Gabrielle got from me way back in the day. I have like 4 of them left. And I think we started with 12, maybe 8, something like that. Who knows? Anyway, but so I need some new wine glasses. So if you have recommendations, or like if the reality is that oh, that's a bummer, team. Okay. This might be worth figuring out how to activate the second camera here. Oh yeah. Did that, it's working for me. We've got, can you see that bubbling? Can you see the bubbling up there? That's not good. That's bad. Okay. Well, is that recent? Hold, please. You're back to me now. Hopefully. I'm hoping it's working the way that's, who knows? Who knows? Not me. Anywho, so let's hop to this topic. So when I was coming back from my disappointing tooth appointment in which I did not get a tooth. Yeah, we're back to that weekend. We're jumping. When I came back, I got back to my apartment at like 7 o'clock at night on a Tuesday. And the piece of bread fell into the sink and now it's all sweat, and this makes me sad because I wanted to eat it. I guess this just means I ate another piece of bread. Go me. Anyhow, I came back 7 o'clock at night on a Tuesday to find my entire bathroom floor is covered in water, and water is leaking from the light fixture up ahead. And so it ended up being a cracked pipe in the walls. So the plumbers spent the next day, the next morning, taking my bathroom apart and ripping away ceiling and walls to find the leak. So the leak was fixed. It's been drying out. They've put up new walls and ceiling for me. Thank you very much, my friend, our handyman. But it needs to dry now again before they plaster. And I don't make a habit of looking at my ceiling. So like, was it like that? Because, but, oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna have to call my landlord out tomorrow. Well, they're coming out tomorrow because they're finishing the walls, but the leak, oh God. Okay, all right. I'm going through the 5 stages of grief in front of you right now for how this is going for me, but that's why they invented wine, folks. So let's try this. Gunlak Bunshu Cabernet Sauvignon. Yeah. Oh yeah. That'll be a good time for us, team. We're going to have fun with that one. Alrighty, Rudy. Okay. Some bread for energy. And then let's figure out what we're making. And if you say to me, Celia, shouldn't you have the recipe already ready on your phone? I would say, hey, don't appreciate the judgment. Okay. So, we need to chop some leeks. We need to chop some leeks. And we need to chop some asparagus. The good news is, we're going to be blending this thing. So, I don't have to be too precious with my chopping skills here because it's all going to get blitzed, team. So, joy to the world for that fact. All right, let's move her. Side note. I was going to do tomatoes originally because look at how pretty this basil plant is. Oh my God. She's doing so good. And she smells so good. And I was like, oh my God, I'll do like a basil, like a tomato soup with basil and like grilled cheese kind of vibe. But again, the tomatoes just aren't ready. They're just not ready, you know? So asparagus it is. So let's get chopping. Chop, 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 chop. I saved the corks, and I need to find more things to do with the corks. Right now, what I'm doing with the corks is I am making magnets out of them. I hot glue a little magnet onto it, and that's what holds things up on my fridge. Side note, speaking of my fridge, quick reminder to all of my lovely friends with pets in their lives, but if you send me your favorite photos of your pets, I will print them out, and they can be hung up here on the Pet Wall of Fame, inspired by our Queen Peanut, my brother's cats. Well, it's really, right now it's my brother's cats and my friend Ferbs' dog's Peanut. And I need photos of Pippi to print out. But give me the photos of your pets so I can print them all out and then I can just collage this full of cutie patootie animals. I need to print out pictures of Susie too. I am behind on my picture printing. Okay. Back over here. Detour is completed. Let's move you over here. Do you want to see the action and not my face? Or do you want to see my face as I'm talking to you and not the action? It's going to have to be kind of a one or the other with the way, well, hold on. Let me see if I can do something suspicious. I think this is as good of a split as we're going to get. So, let's go, team. All right. Big knife. Yeah, that should be good. It's still wet. Let's chop our leeks. Take that butt away. Get that away. Now, I don't like wasting pieces of vegetable, but I don't know what I'm going to do with this. So, I'm going to put this to the side and maybe do some research later. Or, if you want to help me, do some research for me and tell me what I'm supposed to do with the tops of the leeks. Because I don't have anything at the top of my head other than like, maybe like finely chopping them like green onion and using them in like a tart or something. But anyway, someone help me. Someone help me. What am I supposed to do with the tops of the leeks so that I'm not wasteful? I don't want to be wasteful, you guys. Okay. I'm going to save the roots I keep a freezer bag of veg. Hold on, let me grab it to show you what I'm talking about. I keep a freezer bag of veg and whatnot to make like stock out of once it's full. So this one's been going for a minute because I haven't been home for a minute, but we should be getting up there soon. And it's just kind of like a scrap stock. So like that's like the stock that I would freeze first before anything else. I try to use the good chicken stock up while it's fresh. Although, I mean, it does freeze wonderfully as well. But still. Oh, this is a big one. Okay. Ooh. Come on. I told everyone that you were sharp. Did you lie to me? Okay. A little more bread. And let's get to chopping. Okay. I'm gonna, you know what? I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. I'm gonna slice this in half right here. And then, this is what I meant about the layers. There's a ton of layers in there. And dirt can like hide in there. That's why you gotta be careful when you're cleaning it. This is not this is not a French restaurant, so I don't care about it being super clean. And really, I'm only eating this. So, choose your own adventure, I would say. We're just giving it kind of a rough chop. I'm not making them too huge, but just slicing it down, hoping that with more surface area, I might be able to get some more, maybe a little bit of caramelization on them, because these are going to go first with some butter. I think the recipe calls for just butter, and I might stick with that, or I might throw in a little bit of oil just for, butter has a low smoke point, although I'm not really frying anything off. I can cook it kind of low and slow. There's no rush on this one. We can take a minute to build the flavor. So just butter it is. It'll be more delicious that way too. And I got the good Kerrygold that I'll use. Do you need to use the good Kerrygold when you're sweating your leeks? No, but if you have it, why not? And I bought one of those giant packs of Kerrygold at the Costco. So I have plenty of the delicious butter. The salted, obviously. I mean, I guess you can buy the unsalted, but for me, the flavor really matters more in the salted butter. Unsalted butter, I'm fine with using a more generic version. I use a lot of unsalted butter in my baking is the thing. And butter in baking, obviously it's for flavor, for sure. And like, say for like a croissant, the butter you use is gonna matter a lot more. But you know, for a lot of cookies and cakes and pies and things, butter is more like, I guess, a structural thing. Like, if you want butter because it's going to melt and the water is going to evaporate and create that air. So the flavor isn't as an important component unless it's something where the flavor is butter forward, like a croissant, where it's like you want to taste how buttery and delicious that thing is. But so it's gonna take a minute for these to sweat down. So I think we can get the soup going. What do we think? I think I'm gonna do like a medium low heat. Let me the joys of having a tiny kitchen. Don't look at my speeding ticket. Okay, there we go. Okay, I ended up moving the mat out of the way because it limits how close you guys can get. Now, I didn't promise a fabulous production. I promised what is essentially a FaceTime call in which you are my captive. So, we're doing this the way that we can get it done, team. We're not too worried about angles. Although I do want to... Oh, okay. You can't... Hold on. We have the 2-camera system now. I've set myself up for a little bit of a obstacle course here with this cord setup. So that's on me, team. My bad, but you get to hear me suffer. Just a minute. Oh, under. Oh, and now I gotta move you guys because you're in front of the fridge. Honestly, you guys are really the problem here. I'm perfectly fine. Okay, there we go. Oh, and you know what? That made just enough space over here. I probably could have moved you guys back and then forward again, but we're learning, team. Okay, let's get a good honkin' of butter. And by good honkin', I do mean a good honkin'. Let's get that going in there. We're just gonna let that start to melt. And while we do that, I think I'm gonna tell our Instagram friends what we're up to while I drink some wine and we let the butter melt. Is anyone else? I sat on a burner. Oh, the oven is on. This is hot. Yeah, I'm gonna have to shift that. Okay. Learning as we're going, team. Okie dokie. Oh, cute. I just saw the text messages that Mel sent me. Of my own face on her television because she watches me on her TV. Okay. I feel like I should know how to post an Instagram story. I know how this works, right? Okay. Photo taken. That was step 1. I want to put a link in here. Haha. Where's my link? Come make soup with us. You know what? I'll make it a little bit more formal. You've been invited to come make soup with us. My mother taught me to be polite. Okay. Added. Okay, I've done it. I'm done ignoring you guys for other friends. Okay, the butter is melting. It's not melting as fast as I want it to. Should I do the dumb person thing and turn the heat up so that it becomes too hot, and then I turn it down, and then it crisps up my leeks a little bit too much, and then it's not a caramelization, it's more of a char, and then I'm gonna do it. I've already done it. I've turned the heat up already because I'm impatient, but at least I know the consequences for my actions. Okay. Does the humming make it more fun to move between? What type of pot do I have? Oh my God. Okay. I do actually have a story about this. Okay. So I have a giant ass Dutch oven from Staub, and I got it because it's horses. It's horses. It's horses for Year of the Horse, and it's the Year of the Horse right now, and they're so cool. So this was my Christmas present to myself. Because I have like a big stainless steel soup pot, and that is what I traditionally use because it does technically hold more than this Dutch oven. But the Dutch oven is just so much fun. It's just so fun, and it's so pretty, and it's gonna look so pretty with the green soup in it. Okay, so it's gonna be fabulous. All right. let's get this asparagus going. But that was actually one of those. So I do watch TikTok, and I have a TikTok, and I rarely post on it. But the main thing is that I don't use TikTok Shop. I like to buy from like the retailer themselves. But I get inspiration, so you will say. And I got the inspiration, so you will say, to, these ends woody. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna pitch those. Because I saw a post of the stock pot, the Dutch oven, and I like immediately went over to Staub's website and bought it. I was like, I need that now. So it worked. Unfortunately, sometimes social media advertising does work, but sometimes social media advertising really does not go well. And that's actually part of our conversation tonight, because we're going to be talking about the Leaked Lesbians thing, the Leaked Labs thing from the Lipstick Lesbians. And I have thoughts and opinions. And so, like, I've been following that story more recently. I didn't really follow it when the launch was happening. I've been following it since the backlash started happening. And it just got me so curious, to the point where, like, I have questions from a business perspective about the decisions that were made in this. And so that's what we're going to chit chat about, because I have opinions. I make soup and I have opinions. Okay, good news, great news actually, other than the fact that I've rough chopped these asparagus now, is that we're bubbling over here in the butter section. Let me take you. You're joining me. Oh no, you're back. You were unplugged for a little bit. Okay, I'll transfer you over to camera number 2 in a second so you can see it bubble. Hold, please. Okay, ready. Yeah, look at that. That's a good sizzle of butter. That is what you want to see and smell when you're cooking with butter. That is factual, contractual. Okay, I need to grab my bench scraper to help me with all of these. Gosh darn, oh my God, I'm dropping leeks. Chicken, hold on. Can you eat leeks? I know it's always fun and exciting when I drop things, but I never know what you can and can't eat. Can someone tell me if dogs can eat leeks? Please. I need help from my team. Okay, more leeks. More leeks. More leeks. Let's get in there. More leeks. I think this will be the last of the leeks. Okay, I'm accidentally grabbing some asparagus along with my leeks. That's not what I want. I just want the leeks. I got them all. Okay, they're going in. They're going in, folks. All right, let's salt and pepper this up. Oh. Kosher salt. Just gonna give that a handful. I wanna get all the water out of there, so I gotta get some salt in there to sweat it out. And then some pepper. Salt and pepper. Isn't that Ian McKellen on SNL? Okay. You can't really see what I'm doing from this angle anyway, so might as well see my face. Okay. Pepper. Give this a little zhuzh. Get butter all over here. Okie dokie. And we'll let that start to sweat. Let me show you what we're working with here. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Look at that. All right, that's some good sizzle right there. Okay, so we're gonna let these sweat. It's gonna take a minute, okay? It's good things come to those who wait. It's gonna take a good 5-10 minutes for these to sweat down into something. And then I'm pretty sure, if I had to guess, we would be throwing in the asparagus and the garlic next. And then getting in the, basically once they're soft, we're throwing everything else in. Asparagus, garlic, the broth, the thyme, and then we're simmering for 20 minutes or until the asparagus is tender. Then we're adding peas, which I have, and cooking for 2 more minutes. Wasn't there... Oh, they recommend topping it with fresh dill. Okay, interesting. I did buy dill because I didn't read the full recipe, and I didn't realize that they were recommending you top it with dill, because I'm going to top it with the carrot tops. But you know what? 2 birds, 1 stone. Might as well. Okay, 2 birds, 1 scone. Might as well. I'm learning. Okay, we've got this on a nice medium low. Gorgeous. Let's do some garlic chopping. All right. You guys are gonna have to request some better theme music in between moves because the circus theme isn't really working for me anymore right now. It's getting weird. It's getting weird, team. Okay. Oh my God, so much asparagus. Stay in your lane. Okay. Now, I got some little baby potatoes too, because I was thinking it'd be so nice to like roast some of these up with like, some sort of like protein or something, and then like use the asparagus soup as like kind of a sauce, vibe. I have thoughts and ideas. Oh, I pulled this out because I need to get the garlic. Okay, here's the garlic. All right, fresh head of garlic. Only the best for you, my friends. I just have to crack open this motherfucker. Okay, we can do this. We're getting there. There we go. That's it. Okay, now the recipe that Janine so kindly provided for us says 2 garlic cloves, but I am of the firm belief that if you ever find a recipe online, you should immediately double the number of garlic cloves. This is not necessary for recipes that you find in books. I think because if someone's gone to the trouble of publishing a book, they kind of feel like you're ready to eat good food. But sometimes we don't know who on the internet is going to find our recipes. So I think that my internet recipe people go a little bit too conservative on their garlic for the masses. And that's fine. That's totally okay. If that's the way you want to live your life, I want to live my life full of garlic. So I'm just going to use more garlic than recommended. And I have that right. Just like you. Okay, so she said 2 garlic cloves, and I'm going to do a lot more than that. I might not do all of these, but I was making a point. So, okay, let's break these up. Okay, because that's 1. This is technically a lot of garlic cloves in 1, but it's fine. Oh my goodness. Oh my God, it's getting all over my hands. This is the problem with garlic, though, is that it smells and it's sticky to work with. It's really freaking sticky, and it's not a texture that I enjoy, but I enjoy the taste of garlic. And so sometimes we have to suffer for our art, you guys. And if my suffering is in the form of garlic, I think I'm having a pretty solid life. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay, this is taking way too long, but I don't want to hear about any gadgets, okay? I don't want to hear about your fun little garlic gadget. I am of the Alton Brown School of Teaching, where unitaskers annoy me. And I'm open to being wrong about that. If you have one tool where it's like, and a unitasker is a tool that is specifically for one purpose only, you can't use it for anything else. It does one thing. Like, say, a garlic press. A garlic press presses garlic. You don't really do anything else with it. Whereas a microplane, you can microplane a lot of things. So it's an easier way to well, it's not an easier way to crush a garlic, but it is a more versatile way to achieve multiple. Oh my gosh, this is getting annoying, team. I feel like the universe is trying to show me how annoying I'm being by making this garlic really annoying to peel. And I can listen and ignore, okay? Let me live my life the way I want to. Crush. Yeah, okay, that was a good crush. This one's coming for us, team. How are we doing over here in the leak station? Let's check out the leak station. I'm leaving you. Okay, the leeks are doing good. They're starting to smell yum, but they're definitely still sweating out the liquid. We still got a ways to go over there. So I'm just going to peel this last clove of garlic, and then I'm going to give up here. But that's 5 cloves of garlic. That's more than enough. Janine only asked for 2. So I've more than doubled her flavor profile. Okay. All right. And we don't get to blame Janine if I don't end up liking this, because I am using her recipe as more of a suggestion at this point. But that's half the fun of cooking. With baking, it's, you really got to stick to the recipe. You can do some substitutions, but there's so much chemical and technical elements to it that if you don't have the right chemistry going on, you're not going to have the right result. But with cooking, a lot of it, of course, some of it is, the chemistry and the technique, but a lot of it is more flavor-based, and you can swap things out based on whatever flavor profiles you're feeling like kind of vibe. You can dial up and down flavors as you so choose in cooking more easily than you can in baking, but that is simply my POV. Now, again, exciting fact about this recipe is that we're blending it. So this is as fine as I'm making my garlic, and I am fine with that. So you're gonna have to be too. All right, back it up. Back it up, team. I gotta wash my hands because they're covered in garlic right now. So we're using my favorite honey almond soap that I get at the Ace Hardware, because that's a place you can get soap apparently. Okay, let's move this. Again, no one has given me leek top recommendations yet. You guys are really letting me down here on these leek top recommendations. Someone get on that for me. Okay, let me take you back over to these leeks in question by the by. All right, flipping. Here we are with our leeks. They're looking good. But we've still got a little ways. Oh, we're getting a little bit of caramelization right there. You see? I kind of want to throw a little bit more butter in. Is that crazy? Is there such a thing as too much butter in this situation? I don't think so. I just simply don't. All right, let's take you back. Okay. More butter is achievable. Am I using a bench scraper to cut it? Don't worry about it, okay? I didn't want to use the garlic knife. Colby. Okay, let me bring you back over here. Come on, back to me, back to me, back to me. Beep, 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 beep. All right. We're back in action. Okay. There we are. And in our pot, oh yeah, we're melting in that additional butter. This was a good call for me. This was a good call from me. 10 out of 10. Okay. Those are going to keep going for another 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Oh my God, Alexa coming in for me. Sauteed in butter, always with butter. Or using soups. Okay. Ooh. Oh. Wait. Okay. I have a vision. What if I do like I chop them up finely and do like a garlicky, bacony, breadcrumby situation to go on top of a mac and cheese or something. That would be, and I could use some of the like asparagus soup in like the cheese sauce or something. We're just going, we're just using this, we're just playing with ideas here. But frying them up with the bacon does sound delicious. We are not using bacon tonight, but we are using prosciutto. Because again, I was inspired by wanting to make that tomato soup with grilled cheese. And when I make the grilled cheeses, I make them a la my friend Kit with goat cheese and prosciutto in there. Oh, they're so good. But so I thought some crispy prosciutto on top of this soup would also be delicious. So we do have that coming up. Okay. These, they're getting there. I'm going to say another 3-ish minutes. Let's check on our potatoes because I can smell them, but I think it's going to be a little early. So let's see. Okay. Oh, all right. Oh, okay. They're definitely softening, but yeah, another half hour on those and they should be good. Okay, which will be great because it is warm in here because I can't use my AC when we're doing this. Although, okay, so here's the debate, team. There is a window in here. Do I want my neighbors to hear everything that I'm doing? Do I care? Do I care? I think it's a little warm for me to care right now. I'm gonna open the window. Hold, please. Okay. We're getting some fresh air in here, team. The fresh air is coming. Okay, some wine for me. I've earned it. There we go. Okay, while we wait for this, I'll take you on a little field trip to my destroyed bathroom. The thing is, I didn't prepare the rest of the apartment for you to see it. This is going to be a no judgment zone. If you want to see the destroyed bathroom, it's going to have to be a no judgment zone. Okay, team? Let's go. Okay. We're on phone mode now. I also can't see what I'm showing you when we're in phone mode because it doesn't show me the front. But so this is our disaster zone. It was leaking from the ceiling, so they had to change the light out. And then they pulled off all of that ceiling, all this wall, and they have new wall up now, obviously, but they have to plaster over it. And I've got a bunch of plaster dust on the ground and everything because every time I clean it up, it just gets dirty again. And so at this point, I'm just kind of like sweeping it a little bit over to the side and saying, you know, I'll do a full clean once it's all ready to go. Okay, I think we're almost there with these. So I think we're about to start the fun part now. Okay. Let me take you back to the main cam. Oh, yes, this is Planet Fitness, baby. No judgment. No judgment at Planet Fitness, team. Okay. All right, we're moving over to the fun part. Let me bring you into... Oh, no. You're back. Okay. Let me bring you into the situation here. Okay. Oh, I just unplugged you from power. Hold, please. You need power. We're doing too much for you not to have power right now. Okay. There we go. And then let me just use... This is a very delicate situation in here, team. But we're making it work. Okay. All right. What we want to do next... There's leeks on the ground. Shouldn't want to eat them, though. Okay. Let the dance begin. We're going to go garlic first because I want the garlic to get to the bottom so we can start just cooking out that raw flavor of the garlic. Mellow it out a little bit. Okay. Oh yeah, we're starting to get a little bit of fond at the bottom there. Perfect. Okay. Let's get that in. All right. Gonna give you a little pro shot. Let's get it locked and loaded. There it is. All right. Can you smell it? I can, and it smells delicious. Okay, next up is, why is Kyle trying to call me? when he could be joining the live stream right now. Honestly, Kyle, shame on you. Okay, enough about a man. We are grabbing the asparagus with our little raptor hands and just throwing it in there, because sometimes it's not about getting it done well, it's just about getting it done. Okay, do. Oh my God, I need a new song. Someone give me song suggestions and I'll sing them. Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. Okay, let's give this a good mix. A good mix around. Let everyone get to know each other. See what everyone's about. Okay. It smells good. All right, Janine. You haven't steered me astray thus far. Okay. Let's wipe that down. All right. We also need to get our seasonings in here. So it called for some time. I'm going to have to back you guys up. Beep. Beep. So I can get to the fridge. Enjoy the white wall. What did I do with the... Oh, down here. My fridge is not organized. Okay. There's only so much I can accomplish in one day. Okay. We're going to have to organize it later. All right. Back to the recipe. Okay. So just the fresh thyme itself is fine. No chopping. They suggest bundling it. Do I have a way to bundle it? I guess I have like a tiny twisty tie. I don't want to put that in my soup though. We're just going to have to... Actually, you know what I might have? Hold please. Holding music. This is your holding music. This is your holding music. It's music that I'm singing while I'm holding. I have this random piece of twine on my desk. That'll work perfectly for this. Okay. Perfect, perfect, perfect. We're gonna tie it up. Oh, it smells good. You're like, yeah, it smells like twine. No, the thyme, not the twine. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm gonna drop this. There we go. Okay. I'll throw in this little doodad in a second. I'm gonna give this a stir. Oh, I almost dropped it. Okay, give that a little stir. And then let's start, yeah, the leek is cooking down nicely. Okay, here is my bag of frozen stock. I freeze it in like this size little doodads. So I think I might put 4 of them in there because they're pretty concentrated, and then I'll just do the rest with water and then season. Okay, everybody was coming through fighting. It's what fast as lightning. Okay, and because they're frozen, now they have to melt. So should I add water now to help it melt, or should I let it melt to see if it needs water? Decisions, decisions, decisions. I think I'm going to add a little bit of water to help it along. Potentially. Hold on. Let me show you so that you can see what I'm debating right now. Okay. So, oh, you don't want to connect? It's awful rude of you. Try again. Oh, there we go. Haha. I was paused for some reason. Okay. So, these little hockey pucks of stock need to melt down. But I think I'm going to... Ooh, that asparagus went flying. I think I'm going to need some water anyway. So, I'm going to add some water to this. Uno momento. Just grab this. Tastes good. Tastes very fresh. Yes, yes. Okay. Grabbing water. Just a moment, please. Okay, I did have to chew that for a second though because it's not cooked. It is barely cooked. But it's gonna cook in the stock. Okay, we're adding, 2 cups of water. Okay. We're gonna add 2 cups of water to that. So that'll start to cook down. Let's throw our thyme sprig in there. Oh, I just yeeted it. Okay, into the proper place. And then I'll give you a quick look of what we're working with. All right, that's our current situation. Ooh, okay, splash some. All right, so we're gonna let that come up to temp. Get a little bubble, toil and trouble. I'm gonna do a quick last minute season of it. Where did I put my seasoning tools? Oh, did I put okay. We have pepper. Here we go. Pepper. You know what? I'm gonna wait on the salt because there's a good amount of salt in the chicken stock. So I want to see what I'm working with first. Okay. So we're gonna let that go. Throw the lid on there for, I think it's 20 minutes. Let's see. Let's see what the recipe says, team. Yeah, for like 20 minutes or until the asparagus is tender. And then we'll add the peas before taking off the heat and allowing it to cool slightly. Okay, so we have a journey ahead of us. In the interim, it's time for Susie's dinner. So we're on to the Susie dinner part of the evening. Okay. Whoa. Big bang. Okay. Adjustments are going to take place right now. This thing does not roll well. Oh my God. Okay. It's happening. It's happening. Okay. We're back in our usual position. Okay, let's fix the basil plant. Chicken. It's time for chicken dinner. Okay. I have to go out of frame to get chicken dinner. So just, you stay safe while I'm gone. I'll be back in a minute. All right, new holding song. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I don't know the rest of the words to that song. That was a bad pick. I should pick something I know the words to, ideally. Honestly, the only thing that's in my head right now is the song that I'm working on. But that one's not out yet. It's not going to be out till June. But it's stuck in my head. It's stuck in my head, team. Okay. Susie, it's time for chicken dinner. Okay. Should I have maybe cleaned up a little bit first before doing this? Possibly. But we're here now. Okay. So, we have our dry food. We're going to do half a can of wet. I know you're very curious as to the recipe for the dog's food as well. So, yes, that is exactly what happened, Mel's mom. Mrs. Mel's mom, I was already doing this anyway. Soup night was already happening, and I was already thinking my thoughts to myself. So instead, I think them with you. And you decided to come. So that's on you, team. That was a decision that you made for yourself. And I am simply here to entertain. Okay. That's half a can there. Let's grab my super secure preservative system so that we can do the other half for tomorrow. And then the secret ingredient, just a little bit of oh, do I have to pull this down to find it? No. Oh, it's right here. I was looking something with my hand and I couldn't find it. Because it is a precise measurement that we must give the chicken. Not too much. There we go. All right. And then you just give that a mixing. But yeah, I am working on a new song. I know some of the people here have heard bits and pieces, and some of the people here have heard it way too much, aka the producer Paige, who co-wrote it with me. We are in the midst of final mix, and we're going to talk about it more this weekend, but the goal is to have it out by June, just because that would be fun. I want a new song for summer. It's going to be fun and exciting. It's called Prove Me Wrong, and it is fun. It's a fun song for once in my fucking life. Go me. And it is very misandrist, but that's kind of the vibe that I think everyone's feeling recently, so I am very excited to sing about it. But I'll have to do a little something with you guys as we get closer to release date. Maybe I'll play it for you guys or something. There are no rules to Soup Night. I guess I could play you a song if I wanted to. Okay. The chicken meal is complete. Very appetizing, yes? All right, come here. Yeah, it's chicken dinner. You hungry? All right, let's switch it over to the Pro Cam. Yeah, is it delicious? Okay, she's a happy girl. Positions by Ariana Grande. That's a fantastic cooking song. Okay, I think that's enough of the chicken meal. All right, let's see how we're doing over here. I can't leave you behind. Come with me. Come with me, and we'll be in a world of pure imagination. Or however the fuck it goes. Okay, is that warm? No. Okay, I want to turn this up. I need you to get bubbly. A predictable consequence of the frozen stock is that the frozen stock chilled down the overall temperature of this soup. So I need it to bubble a bit more. Give me good bubbles, please. All right, and I smell that we should be testing these sweet potatoes again. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, those are ready. Those are ready, which is great. Because that means I can turn the oven off for now. Oh, but just for now. I should really... Yeah. Okay, we're going to lower it to 375. I'll still be suffering, but we're going to make the croutons to go on top, so I do need to bake those. Okay, let me get these guys out of the way. Little potatoes. And I got to wipe down this board really quick, because I need to keep using it. Okay. I'm trying to think of positions by Ariana Grande, but I keep playing 34-35 in my head. You've got me up all night. 34-35. But I can't think of positions right now. It'll come to me though. Okay, pull all of these out. Fabuloso. We're gonna let those chill for a little bit before I start manipulating them into brownies and chicken food. See, now that caught all of the sweet potato drippings, so then I can just wash the pan instead of having to wash the oven. It's the little things like that that bring you joy in your life. Okay, so this is where having a smaller kitchen has its drawbacks, because I have stacked things over in the area where I will need to be doing the cutting. So I'm gonna have to do some re-stacking here. So I'm gonna zoom you guys out. You're gonna get a full kitchen view while I ping pong around, because that's just simply how we'll have to continue on with this adventure. I'm a little worried about this bar cart, but We're doing it now, team. Okay, so I need the bread because we're gonna be cooking with it, but I also need to clean that up first. Bread's gonna go over here for a second. It's a really intimate inner look into how I am in my kitchen, folks. This is what it's actually like to be in the kitchen with me while I'm cooking for soup night. This is basically what happens every time. And typically, when I'm not live streaming, there's no one here for this process. People just show up after the fact to eat the soup. But that's why this is fun. You get an inside look. And we don't have any confirmed guests for soup night this evening. Our one confirmed guest of the evening, Ryan, had to cancel for reasons due to illness, which were accepted by the council of soup night. And we do miss him, and we ask that he attend a future soup night. But because of that, we don't have any confirmed guests. So it's possible that, ooh, okay, she's ready. But I wouldn't have anyone to yap to after this anyway, except for my dog. So it's good that I'm getting it all out with you girls here. Girls, I think. I don't think we have any boys on the stream. And you know what? Good. It's very proved me wrong of me. Okay, I need to move these. Oh, they just came out of the oven. Okay, I gotta move these potatoes. Potatoes! Okay, and I'm gonna throw them on the countertop, which might actually help them cool off faster because it's some sort of stone adjacent material. I don't know what it's actually made of. Okay, let those cool over there. I am going to, am I going to need this? I am going to need this moving forward in the future. Hold, please. Okay. Put that down. Okay. Bread. Behind me. Okay, we're moving on to the bread portion. We're going to make some croutons. All right, I'm going to grab, I'm going to do 3 pieces so that I have extra, but I don't want to make like too many. Because these are not hard to like make fresh to go on the soup. So I'd rather just make them fresh because it's actually pretty quick. The longest part is the actual baking of them, but quite simply it is, I need to get a real bread knife. I just have this like serrated knife, which will do the job. I just need a serrated knife to get to working with it. But an actual bread knife would be better. I want to bring you a little bit closer. Join me on this journey. Okay, that's somewhat closer. Okay, wine break. And let's see how the soup is doing. Yay, the bubbles have begun! Ha ha ha! Okay, perfect. So, we'll count the 20-ish minutes starting at 7. So, I'll give it a, you know what, I'll test the asparagus at like 7:15. I'll give it a crunch test. Okay. And then I'm literally, this is not fancy. I'm just gonna shred this up into little cubes. And again, if I had a real bread knife, this would be cutting so much nicer. But we make do with what we have, team. I don't know if a bread knife would be considered a unitasker. I wonder. This one's small, I'm gonna eat it. The chef always gets a bite. That's why you want to be the chef. Actually, I like being the chef because I like little bites of things. I don't know that I want a full meal of something, but I want little tastes of lots of different flavors. And when you're cooking lots of different things, you taste the things as you go. And then by the end, you've basically had your full meal there just by doing your tastings. And then you just get a little extra of the good stuff once it's made. Okay, these two are going in my mouth. It is very good bread. But I'm also very excited to make my own bread with the sourdough starter that my sister will be giving me, whether she knows it or not. Okay. Bowl. Bread goes into bowl. Olive oil. Pepper. Salt. Oh, so much salt. Okay. Not as much salt as I just poured. Okay, some of that salt will help abrade off the sweet potato juices from the pan. Okay, and then garlic powder. That's really all you need. You can do more. I might, no, I'm just gonna do the garlic powder right now. Sometimes I put paprika on it, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'll put onion powder on it too, sometimes I don't. Just whatever the vibe is. Okay, garlic powder. Just mix it with your hands. Doesn't, oh, she gets a bread. Doesn't have to be fancy. You just want them all to be kind of coated. Safety check. Safety check is passed. Just grab a pan. I can dump them out on. This pan is probably a little bit too small for all of these, but my big pan is in the sink. And I'm lazy. So, throw that in there. 10, 15 minutes. I'll smell them. That's the other great thing about baking. I mean, well, cooking in general. It's like baking, you can kind of smell when things are done, but it takes a while to like develop that sixth sense because it needs to be done. Whereas like when you're cooking things, once it starts smelling roasty toasty, like it's probably going to be cooked. You know what I mean? Although I will say, I don't cook a lot of meat myself. I prefer to let other people cook my meat for me. So I wouldn't follow that advice if you're like testing meat doneness. Maybe just talk to an expert rather than me and cook it to the proper temperature. But that's just my opinion. Okay, so that's in the oven. And then another thing that I want to put on there is the prosciutto. So here's how we're going to do that. Could I just do it in the oven as well? Yeah. I was going to just put it in a nonstick on the stovetop. So that's usually how I do it. But if I find another pan that I can use, I could probably just throw it in there with the bread. 2 birds, 1 stone. Okay. Look. Oh! That was not bad. Look how pretty. Look how pretty. Okay, let's find a pan. Okay. Okay. This has walls to it, but otherwise it should be fine. And then just kind of want to, oh my gosh, prosciutto, separate from your brethren, please. Prosciutto is so clingy. We have things that we need to do, prosciutto. Join me on that journey. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna kind of drape you in the pan. And I don't need to make that many of this. This is really just for me, so I'll just make 2 of them. Because I love myself and I deserve 2 prosciuttos. Okay, 2 prosciuttos right in there. Any little lingerings? Yeah, there's a little lingering right there that I can eat. Yay. Oh, let's put this back in there properly so it will seal properly. There we go. Beautiful. So we just put the prosciutto in the pan, and then we're going to put it in the oven. I see a viewer question, so I'm going to come by and answer that. Okay, we're going to put that in there too. Okay, what's our viewer question? Oh my God, it's not even for me. I love that. Oh my God, yes, you guys have your own conversation in there. God forbid, I'm like trying to insert myself in your conversation. How rude of me. Okay, let me throw this in there. Okay. that's getting going. I'm like trying to think of what else I need to be working on right now for this endeavor, but I feel like I've got this almost locked and loaded. We're just in a waiting phase right now. We should check on things, of course, but we're not in a frantic cooking stage right now, which is nice. I don't like to be rushed too much when I'm cooking. Okay. Wine break. Cheers. Although, you know, I really should also drink water. Hold on. Go find water. Drink some water. I'm finding water too. Where is water tonight? I hope that it is close by. Water bottle. Jug. Susie's drinking water too. She knows how important it is to stay hydrated. Okay, let's check on our soup. I'm gonna get you guys set up for the lid reveal. Okay. You were on the ceiling for a second. All right. Lid reveal, how are we doing? Ooh, bubble, bubble, boiling trouble. So much bubbling, we can turn that down now. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, yeah. That's looking good. Okay. We can keep that going. I'm going to turn her up to a solid medium right there. And then take you back to the main cam. Okay. So that's going. What time is it? Yeah, we got another solid, 5-7 minutes before we need to move on to the next step. So I'm going to organize these here. I want to wait until everything's out of the oven before we move on to our chit chat for the evening, because I feel like we can let the soup cool and everything and have our chit chat fun time together. Well, we could do that, or we could do Celia Reviews Life. I feel like I gave you guys life updates, but I always have more shit to tell you guys. But I kind of want to get into my combo. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Cheers. Now, we need a chair for our conversation. I'm gonna need somewhere to sit. So I'm gonna get you guys set up. Get you guys adjusted. Here we go. I need a chair. Beep. Beep. Susie, you're in the way. Susie, you're in the way. And if you were to ask, why don't I just move you to the chair? Because I can't. There's only so much I can do right now. And I don't know how to, I know that in live streaming, you should be able to, add a scene card or something. But I just figured out how to do the second camera, okay? We're leveling up each stream, you guys. I learned how to turn my mic on properly this time, except for, remember, I don't know that you guys remember it, but there was the one time that it was silent for half an hour. I didn't know. So that will have to be for a future Soup Night episode, because there's only so much I can know. There's only so much I can know. This is basically a very fancy FaceTime call. Okay. Soup. Oh. Okay. Let me grab one of these asparagus. Yeah. Okay. It's happening, Tim. Peas. No, the peas are frozen into one giant chunk. I'm literally squeezing it out in one giant pea chunk. Okay, we got this. We got this, team. It made it in. Okay, second one. I guess we're just using all the peas because I can't separate them. Get in here. God, it's like I'm giving birth to a baby of peas. Okay. all the peas in there. Let's get that mixaroonied. Yeah. Once they're in the bubbling hot liquid, they separate. Okay. All right. And then it wants me to let it go for another couple minutes, but I'm just going to cut it off now and pop the lid on it and just let that, it'll continue to soften up. Okay, and then let's see how we're doing in the oven. Oh, not a bread cube. That was not safe. Don't do that. Okay. We still need more time. And the prosciutto needs another couple minutes too. Okay. So, I'm going to get set up for our next section. Actually, I'm going to wash some of these dishes first. Just a couple. I'm just going to wash a couple of them just so that, or I really should wash the dishes, but do I want to? I like how I'm contemplating it. Like this is a philosophical life question for myself. Should I wash the dishes now? You know what? Yeah. Because I think I can get them done faster than I think I can. Let me put this up here. Oh, also right next to it is my new cocktail shaker. Look at him. He's a little penguin. Isn't that so fun? And his little head comes off for a strainer. And then obviously the body to shake the cocktail. Isn't he so cute? Anywho, okay. We're going to do this. It's happening. We're washing the dishes. I'm even going to let you watch me wash the dishes. Okay. Let's give this girl a crunch. Oh, okay. Those were actually dirtier than I thought that they were. Let's wipe them down. Okay. I'll let you guys watch the chicken get a crunch. It's one of her favorite things. Okay. Beep, 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 beep. All right. It's time for the chicken cam. Hi, chicken. Can you give me a good sit? There's your crunchy. Do you want it? Good girl. Or are you going to take it over there to crunch on? She usually takes it, is she going around the back way? No. She's crunching on a different area. Where are you crunching? Yeah, she's crunching right there. Yeah, you're crunching. Ma'am. Oh. She likes to bark at the neighbors as they walk by because she thinks she's a guard dog. And I'm not going to dissuade her from her dreams of being a guard dog, but she's just not very intimidating. Okay, I saw Mel say that we should wash our dishes. So thank you, Mel, for keeping me accountable. These are just going to have to go in the fridge. Just toss them in there. Okay, toss these in there. Get to washing. Okay. I don't think that I can play actual music because I think that's like copyright illegal. But you can play music on your end and you tell me what playlist you're playing while I wash my dishes. Because my playlist is just going to be the noise in my head. Oh my God, these are still warm. Potatoes are still warm. Okay, bread over here. Let's get to washing. I got my ticket for the long run to the landscape for the way. I sure like since you come to me. I'm leaving tomorrow when I'm gone. I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me down there. You're gonna miss me everywhere. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. I got my ticket for a long way around. Long place to lose. It's got mountains, it's got rivers, it's got sights that give me shivers. But it sure would be prettier with you when I'm gone. When I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk, you're gonna miss me by my talk. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. Tattoo my finger, little love letter I carry with me. Sing lights and smoke rings and cigarettes, outlines and kisses of silver spoons. Oh dear, never saw you coming. Oh my, look what you've done. You're my favorite song, always on tip of my tongue. When you hold me, whispers like poetry on my mouth. It's a melody I memorize, so sweet. I hear it echo everywhere I go, day and night. Road, dear, never saw it coming. Oh my, look what you've done. You're my favorite song, always on the tip of my tongue, the tip of my tongue. Oh, oh, dear, never saw you coming. Oh my, look what you've done. You're my favorite song, always on the tip of my tongue. Ooh, I smell the prosciutto. I smell the prosciutto. What are you doing in there? What are you doing in there? Oh, yeah. How you doing? Oh, no. You got more to go. Okay, those are starting to dry out, too. There we go. Just a couple more. I think you got the best of me. You're sleeping with the enemy. You left me all alone, 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 alone. The beat drops, you're so low. It's last call and it's gotten old. Now look who's all alone, 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 alone. Sick and tired of the mess you made me, and never gonna catch me, 'cause you must be blind. You can't see. You miss me till the day you die. Without me, you. Oh, it's okay. Is it okay? No! broke my pour over. This not good. No, I cracked it. Okay. Well, I guess I get to go shopping. Okay. That out. We've almost done it, team. Just onto the pan covered in sweet potato, which honestly I might soak for a minute. Yeah, we're gonna let this have a soak before we give that a final scrub. Okay, well, the dishes are clean, but I did lose my coffee maker in the process. So was it really a win, team? I can smell things happening in here. Yeah, that's happening. All right, perfect timing. We have crispy, so crispy. And we have, running out of places to put shit. Okay, and we have, look at that. Breadcrumbs. Oh my god, my friend is sending through photos from one of the bachelorette weekends and it's non-stop. It's happening. The photos came back. Okay, what's going on in the chat? Okay, I love you so much, Alexa, my sweet queen. Go rest your darling head. And I can catch you up on the postmortem tomorrow. I mean, it's going to be living, laughing, and loving in here. Yes, I do have to get a Chemex. And look, I mean, I got that little pour over like 8 years ago or something. Just like picked it up at like a Target back when we shopped there. So I could upgrade to a Chemex. I have proven to myself that I will pour over the coffee, if only because the rest of it is, oh my god, Mackenzie, my sweet darling, I love you so much, but I am muting that. All right. I don't need to keep hearing that dinging. Okay. So those are both done. I'm going to turn off the oven. Some schwitzen. Let's give these a taste test. They're great. They're fantastic. Okay. And that's going well. So you know what that means? It's time for our postmortem. Let's transition. Okay. There we go. We're gonna need some wine for this chit chat, if you will. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, I'm gonna have to adjust because, oh no. Oh yes. Yeah, that's better. Here. So you can see our agenda back here. If you can read my handwriting, that is. I don't know if you can, but we have done cooking and reviewing life. We've done Susie food. So we are now on the postmortem. Okay. So I have thoughts and opinions on this. Like I said, a little bit of background on why I wanted to talk about this before we get into this. Because, so I started hearing about this situation not when the product was initially released, but in the last couple of weeks due to the response that the brand had to criticism. So to give you a little bit of information, today we are talking about Leaked Labs, which is a new beauty company that was founded by the lipstick lesbians, who are Christina and Alexis. They went viral a few years back when Christina filmed Alexis in a Sephora and asked her questions about the products, because Alexis's background is in beauty and in product development. So they became
well known for their view of beauty education, and they've spent the last couple of years, I think, not an extensive amount of time. I wish I had the actual date top of mind, but I feel like sometime in the last 3 years or so, they went viral and really started making a name for themselves. And they've had a few different business ventures. They actually originally started the social platforms with the handle Lipstick Lesbians to promote their previous company called Fempower Beauty, which was lipsticks. So they were the Lipstick Lesbians. They released lipsticks. Susie wants to join us for this discussion, so I'll make sure that you can see her. But so they had a former brand, Fempower Beauty, where they released lipsticks, and it was kind of female empowerment coded. That was their kind of point of view on the subject, is that they wanted women to feel beautiful when they were wearing the lipstick. And that ended up, I'm assuming they folded that company. I don't believe that there's been any updates on that company in the last few years. And Alexis and Christina really transitioned their social handle from promoting their brand, Fempower Beauty, into being content creators and focusing on the content that they were creating for their follower base, which was primarily educational. They're very known for their reviews, and I would imagine that most of the revenue that they make from their content creation is probably brand partnerships of reviewing products and things of that nature. You see quite a few of those posts on their social feeds when you scroll through them. So that's who these two are. About a year and a half ago, as the story goes, Christina was going along with Alexis to all of these different beauty conventions where labs present new innovations to beauty brands and retailers with the hopes that they will then want to pick up the product and release it. Because most of the time, large brands aren't developing formulas by themselves. It takes a lot of, obviously, ma'am. Let me grab her toy, otherwise she's gonna keep eating my arm. But so, it costs a lot of R&D, just costs a lot of money for any industry, let alone beauty and skincare. So a lot of smaller brands, mid-sized brands that aren't within huge conglomerates, will work with independent labs and to come up with formulas, or they will partner with those labs and bring forth a concept that they would like to bring to life, and the lab helps them achieve it. But so it's a very common practice, and Alexis and Christina were going to all these conventions throughout the world, and as the story goes, Christina, who is the one with an education technology background. So her background is in education technology. Alexis's background is in beauty. Christina was asking Alexis, well, so what happens to all of these innovations that we're seeing that like no one decides to pick up? Like, how do consumers then find out about all of this cool, exciting new technology in beauty if the brands don't decide to move forward with it? And Alexis goes, well, they don't see it. Like, if the brands decide not to release the innovations, then it just goes into a drawer, and the consumer never gets to see it. And that is where the big brain idea of what if we created a company that released these innovations to the public without having to go through a major brand. And that is the ethos behind their company, Leaked Labs. The marketing spiel is all about leaking the labs to the beauty community so that they can act as a product developer of sorts themselves. The concept being they send out these beauty innovations prior to them being truly retail ready. So once a brand decides to pick up a new product, they then go through the other part of the process that is creating the actual product. The innovation in and of itself, the powder, the cream, whatever, is just one part of the product. You also have to think about, you know, the packaging. How is the user going to interact with the product? Do we need a pump? Does it need to be in a pan? Does it need to be, you know, like a tight seal closure because it's got moisture in it? Does that not matter? Like, there's a whole additional component of how are we going to present this product to the user so that they can use it and have an enjoyable experience and get the payoff that they're expecting from this product. Leaked Labs is thinking, what if we skip that step and let the beauty community touch and feel these textures and products before they're ready for the market and give us feedback so that we can create these into market ready products. Now, as I'm describing this concept to you, if you have any sort of operations, business, you know, execution mindset to you, you're probably having a lot of questions pop up for you, which is what makes this so fascinating to me. Because I think, if I'm gonna jump the shark a little bit and jump straight to the end here, I think one of the major issues with this launch is that I don't know that they fully thought through the concept of the business itself. I don't know that they gave enough thought to what is the business model we're working with here, and is it the right one? Let me get you into a little bit about the business model so you can kind of understand where I'm coming from here. So, Leaked Labs started by Alexis and Christina. The public became aware of this company back in late February. It was like the 27th or the 28th. Alexis and Christina post their first video about the company. And now, this is an influencer brand technically because Alexis and Christina are the ones creating and promoting this brand. That in and of itself already brings up a lot of red flags to keep in mind when you're launching a company, especially in the beauty space. I think you need to understand a little bit of the beauty retail space in general to understand why it can be hard to get influencer brands correct. Because influencer brands are a little bit of a dime a dozen. That this whole influencer brand concept really, you know, this has been around the beauty community in particular for a while. I'm talking, if we go back to when the beauty community was primarily on YouTube, so this is going to be late 2000s, early 2010s. I'm talking like Jaclyn Hill, Manny MUA, Laura Lee days. This was like the first heyday of Jeffree Star, Tati, James Charles, like and even earlier, like maybe back to Graveyard Girl. That there's a menagerie of beauty content creators who have existed now on social media platforms for well over a decade. And even back then, as the entire internet was learning how to monetize, the beauty community was, I don't want to say like a fully early adopter, but they did figure out a few different ways to do it during kind of the Wild West era. There was a lot of undisclosed sponsorships. There's a lot of, you know, not understanding how affiliate links work and how, you know, how the promoters get a kickback, that kind of thing. But so the beauty community, after a series of scandals, including John Mageddon, the Jaclyn Hill lipstick launch, which then was followed up by the Margie Vaults, and, you know, at this point, most influencer brands have had some sort of launch issue, or there's been some drama tied around to it. It's not uncommon for it to have an issue with launch. And influencer brands, primarily the ones that are successful, I would say there are two main camps. There is the type of influencer brand where an influencer is approached by a pre-existing beauty brand, retailer, yada yada. And this is typically more in terms of like, you will see a lot of collabs in this area. This was kind of the next evolution of collaborating, is not just we're collaborating on a product, but we're collaborating on a product line, or we're creating a whole like secondary brand under this umbrella. Or as we see with celebrity brands, a lot of them are partnered with a huge conglomerate, like for example Coty, and that's how you get your Fenty Beauties, that's how you get your Rare Beauties. You know, they have a lot of venture capital behind them from these large beauty retailers, who have a myriad of brands under their umbrella. So that's one way to go, in which the influencer themselves is more of a creative director and a spokesperson versus an actual business owner. And this is usually a good fit for influencers, because being a business owner is its own situation. There is so much more to owning and running a business than simply the marketing. And influencers tend to be very good at marketing. That's their niche. They've built a community, they've built a following of people who trust them, and then they can recommend products to them. And you know, a lot of times, like for example with Alexis and Christina, part of the reason why people follow them is because they trust their taste, because they trust their expertise, because they trust their knowledge. And so there is the pre-baked in belief that because this influencer that I trust and respect is representing this brand, it's the classic, they're putting their name on it, it's got to be good, even though they're just more the face of it and another entity is actually running the business behind them. And I think there are pros and cons to that, obviously, but the other option is the influencer themselves is the business owner. This is their brand, their company that they are running. And Leaked Labs is this latter half. Leaked Labs is a business that Alexis and Christina do own. They are not affiliated with a larger beauty conglomerate. And that is by design, especially because one of the main selling points of their brand is them saying, other brands have to do all of this work ahead, have to do all of this product development work ahead of time, and that takes months to years of additional time where you don't get to appreciate this new beauty innovation. We're cutting out all of that timeline and we're getting the product to you right away. So it wouldn't make sense for them to work with a larger company if their whole ethos is that it's taking the larger companies too long to get you the product. And you deserve access to the product earlier. So it wouldn't even make sense for them to align with a larger corporation. But with them being their own entity, they are now running a business. And so the question of what is this business that you are running becomes very important, because that's entirely up to you. So what they decided, and when I say they, I want to talk a little bit about the structure of this company. So I did some quick little LinkedIn research about this last night, because how this topic came up for myself is that I was watching a YouTube video that Briar Chats posted. I have a bunch of videos in the description that I've linked that I've watched on this topic if you become interested in it, listening to my rambling about it. If you want to learn more about it, definitely go over there. Disgruntled Town Person goes really in depth into Alexis and Christina's background in particular, if you're interested about them. Briar Chats has a 2-part series in which she really dives into a lot of different reactions to the situation. She approaches it from a lot of different angles, which is what inspired me to approach this from my own angle, because I had more questions the more she was talking. And then also Beautiful and Bothered, I think is what the podcast is called. They did a couple of episodes on it, and they're more influencer makeup artist POV on it, because they're both in this space as well, the two hosts. Anywho, I was watching Briar Chat's video on this, And I just started taking notes on the questions that I had and the thoughts that I had. But so one of the questions that I initially had was, okay, so what was the original structure of this company? So when you look at this company, when they first released it, they released like a brand, like some brand promo videos on Instagram and TikTok about Leaked Labs, and it was very marketing forward, which is going to make sense when I discuss the structure. So based on, and this is my best guess, obviously this is a private company and I don't know any of the people involved in this. This is just from like my own knowledge and a little bit of LinkedIn noodling that I was doing. But so the company is owned by Alexis and Christina. They are co-founders. Alexis is the Chief Innovation Officer, is I believe what they were tagging her as in the social media videos that they were posting. And Christina, oh God, I forget what they listed her as. Maybe like the Chief like Education Officer or something. Don't quote me on that. It is in, but they are given C-suite titles in these promo videos. And they also have a CEO, and she is a gal named Asha Coco. And she is listed on LinkedIn as the CEO of Leaked Labs from January 2025 through April 2026. So she's not listed as the current CEO on LinkedIn, so I don't know if she's decided to leave the company since everything that happened or what's going on there. But so there was a CEO, Asha Coco, and her background is in, what does she call it? She worked with the Lipstick Lesbians as part of their media company, so, you know, their influencer business. But she also has her own company called Glow Up. It's like Glow Up. You think that I would have my notes ready for this, but I simply don't. Here we go. Glow Up Partners. And she describes this as they're brand builders who transform early stage concepts into investor ready powerhouses. We build and execute ROI positive strategies to help consumer brands grow, scale, and crush it in the market, which is a lot of word soup. But essentially what she is describing is that she is the business partner that you can work with. She's gonna do all of the business strategy and marketing so that your brand can make an impact. So she's hired as the CEO for Leaked Labs back in January 2025. And they also they get some investors. There are a couple of investors listed on LinkedIn as well. We have Brent Ridge, who is the founder of Beekman 1802, is listed as a board member. Tina Henry Busaba, who is a founder and managing partner of CTX Investments, which is an investment firm. And then Rich Gersten is listed as an investor as well. He is a co-founder and managing partner of True Beauty Ventures. So we have listings from board members, investors, and if you're a board member or a board observer, it's likely that you've invested, and as part of your investment, you get a board seat so that you get some sort of voting power in the shape of the company. So they get independent investments from people in the beauty space. I would assume through their connections with Asha Coco, this is what she is hired to do, I imagine. And you also see throughout the videos that they post, because as part of their social media strategy when they launch this brand, they post these little docu-series episodes. And I do believe these are the docu-series that they reference later in their apology video. But in this docu-series, so to speak, they're like 5-ish minute episodes on Instagram and TikTok. You see multiple people, including both Alexis and Christina. Asha is in there, and then you also see a gentleman named Anthony DeLuca, and he's listed as a social strategy and production advisor, and he's the CEO of DeLuca Media Group. So it seems like to me, based on what I saw, I kind of think that the structure of this is that Alexis and Christina decided to create their own brand. They partnered with Asha Coco to help them with doing the investor rounds and fleshing out the concept and creating a ready-to-market business strategy. They got their investors, and then they pulled Anthony DeLuca in as well to help them with the social strategy for the launch. That's my best guess of probably what happened. Why does any of this matter? All of this matters because upon the launch of Leaked Labs with their first product is called Flexi Powder, and it is, as they describe it, a lasagna style powder disc. You can give it, actually, I think I can show you on my phone. Hold on, let me pull it up. Let me pull up the receipts on social media. Okay, we're gonna pull up the Leaked Labs account, because that's another part of this. Is Leaked Labs as its own company has obviously its own social media presence, but because the founders are social media creators in their own right, there is a lot of crossover posting between the Leaked Labs official account and the Lipstick Lesbians social media influencer accounts, which I think becomes messy from a corporate communications perspective. I think that while we'll get there when we get there, let me show you the concept that we're working with here. I want to find a good picture of just the product, and why is that so hard for me to do right now? Here's a better one. Okay, so this is the product. It's 4 thin discs of pigment, and it is a flexible powder. So the texture is similar to cooked lasagna, is how it is described by the chemist from the lab in Italy. And it is 100% product. So like you can pick it up as it is, bend it, flex it, all of that. It is flexible. And some of the things that they're saying in here is that it's incredibly sustainable. It's 4 shades that come in 1 recyclable tin in a deconstructed quad format. So this is how it arrives. It's the 4 discs in this tin. And it's important to point that out because the marketing is an issue with this launch, which I find interesting because, as we've discussed, the backbone of this company is marketing forward. Like the primary skill set that all of my major players have that we've gone over is marketing. But one of the photos that they share is this one right here, where you see the 4 flexible powder discs are on this artist's palette, if you will. And while they do show that off in that way, that's not how it arrives when the consumer orders the product. So this is their first product that they're releasing. They do some posting. So I want to check the timeline here. So the first post is February 27th on this account. That's where they do kind of this paparazzi inspired promo video where they end up behind a podium talking to journalists in kind of like a news presentation format where they talk about how they're leaking in the lab. And then over the next couple of days, they post more photos, they post more content. And on February 28th, one of the things that they post as part of their copy when they're explaining what their brand is, because again, when we're thinking about this brand, that is an influencer-based brand, and the majority of the marketing is social media. I don't see that they did a lot of social media promotion on their own. They did a big PR list. They sent to a lot of different influencers, and I think Asher got them like a couple of articles. Like I think WWG got the exclusive on the release of like the announcement, but then Beauty Matter actually did a good article on it where like they actually got some questions answered. But the reality is the vast majority of their consumer base is going to be learning about this on social, and they're probably going to be learning about it through Alexis and Christina. I mean, that's part of the deal here with influencers being the ones who are launching this brand. The influencers are going to be the ones promoting it, and you're going to learn about it on their socials. So the marketing that pops up on social media is incredibly important to this company based on that fact. So on the 28th, the copy that they post is, "We never set out to be influencers. We started as industry insiders who loved product enough to ask hard questions. Why are the boldest formulas delayed? Why are the most innovative materials shelved? Why does retail caution override creative risk? Over time, we realized we weren't just reviewing the industry, we were studying it. Leaked Labs is the natural result of that study. It's what happens when you stop observing the system and start building your own. This isn't about launching another brand, it's about redesigning how beauty reaches people. It's time we leak the labs directly to you." So this is their brand ethos. They're saying this is not just a brand. This is a new way of getting beauty to you. My red flag there is, okay, what does that mean? What does the structure of that look like? And so the way that they ended up structuring this is they had a release online, and they released it same as you would basically any other product. You could go onto their e-commerce website, you could purchase the powders, and they get sent to your home. Now, there was talk about this concept of, and then you will give us feedback. It was never clarified during any of the marketing materials or anything how that feedback was going to come. They just kind of said public feedback. So the understanding was that people would then post their responses online to have kind of a public conversation about the product, and that I guess the brand would be monitoring the social media response and taking those comments back so that they could refine the formula. That's the concept here. So the product gets launched on March 6th and sells out the same day. Now, they do state, the product sells out in one day. The product costs $34. And in Jen Love's video, she mentioned that shipping was like $6. So altogether, it's $40 for these powders. And I want to remind you of what it is that you're getting. If I can find that photo again. Here it is. Okay. No, it's the wrong one. Oh, this is what's kind of annoying about Instagram having videos and photos now, because I just want photos. Okay, so this is what you get. You get this tin that says Leaked Labs, and you get the 4 powders inside of the tin and the lid. And that's what comes in the packaging. I'm gonna close my door super quick just because I feel like I'm talking really loud. My neighbors can hear me now. Oh, please. Holy music, we get holy music in the middle of my dissertation. Although it can't really be a dissertation because I put this together last night, and as you can probably tell, there really isn't much of a format. Okay, but anyway, so this is what you get. You get the tin, the 4 powders, the 4 flexi discs, and that's $40. Now, what makes these flexible discs so exciting that they are worth $40? So you can spray them with water or setting spray to make it a gel-like texture, as they say, to make it more intense. Or you can use it when it's dry. And it doesn't need to be in a pan. It's its own little floppy individual piece of makeup. Those are the pros that we have been, actually, here's a video where they're like, this is like the little bags. Those are the bags that they're sending out. Anywho. So that's what you're getting for $40. So the products get sent out, they sell out same day, and in their docuseries, they mention that they're doing a limited run because this is a new product, a new brand, everything. So they're doing probably like the minimum order run that they can do. And as part of any manufacturing, the more of something you order, the cheaper it's going to become. So there's going to be a cost of goods increase overall because it's a smaller order amount, but also it's a newer technology. So they probably haven't done any sort of the large scale like manufacturing of like creating larger machines that could make more of the product. So it's probably a bit more time intensive. So that is going to up labor costs for the cost of goods. And if you're not ordering a lot, the supplier is going to charge you more because the more that you make, the more the price. That's kind of how that works. So in one of the docuseries videos, they do mention that this is a little bit pricier than would a traditional, I don't know the exact phrasing, but the understanding is it's a little bit more costly because it's a smaller run and it's a newer technology. And the goal would be as we figure out what this product is supposed to be, we can refine it and then produce it on a larger scale, which will then drive the cost of goods down. So it's going to be more expensive at the upfront. And so we sell these for $40 and we ship them out to the world and to the influencers, and people start receiving them. When people start receiving them, you get a lot of feedback popping up. A lot of people start having questions in regards to the sanitization, the sanitariness of the product, because it's just the 4 discs like loose in a tin. And when you get it wet, it does dry back down again, but it takes a bit of time for the powder to dry back down again. So the question is, okay, well, like when I get it wet, is bacteria gonna grow on it, or have we thought about the sanitary conditions of this product style? So that was one of the big concerns. The other concern was how little product you get for what you're paying for. You get the 4 discs, and the discs in and of themselves are very thin. So the actual like gram per gram of the product that you're getting is very minimal. Multiple people online have done like cost analyses where like gram for gram, ounce for ounce, that this powder is more expensive than like Tom Ford, the big luxury house brands. It's more expensive than luxury makeup to get this product gram for gram. And then additionally, there was the large question of what's the point of this product? And I want to take you back to the ethos of this brand in which you are the product developer. So the question of what is the point of this product is one that a product developer would answer. The problem is the way that they decided to sell this product by just listing it online in e-commerce style, anyone can buy it. People didn't really know what they were buying into. This type of business model hasn't really been done before. And while I think that Leaked Labs tried to explain it to their consumer base, I think that the consumers were understandably confused because realistically, I don't think the brand understood how this was going to work. Because if they had taken that time to think through what is it going to mean to ask my consumer for this type of feedback, how is that going to happen, and then what is the evolution? It feels like we had an idea that we executed, but we didn't think through the actual logistics of how this was going to work. And you see that as people start reacting to the product, because people start reacting online and they start reacting negatively. We start getting a lot of the different negative feedback that we get, and what happens next is really where the rub begins, because Alexis and Christina, the company, decide to respond with what they call the State of the Union, I believe is what they actually called it, in which they're back up behind that podium and they're addressing the reporters as the same style as their launch video. and they're answering kind of the common questions about leaked labs and about flexi powder. This video went over so poorly that the Leaked Lesbians have pulled it from social media. It's no longer posted. It's, I think, the only piece of content surrounding this launch that is no longer posted. But there's the internet is forever. People have the video in their reaction videos of it everywhere. So it's not going anywhere. And in this video, a lot of the consumer feedback was that it felt very condescending and dismissive, and very much it was perceived that Christina and Alexis and the brand, because again, at this point, those two are synonymous. Christina and Alexis are Leaked Labs, and Leaked Labs is Christina and Alexis. It's the perception of the consumer was that Alexis and Christina were talking down to them, of basically saying, you just don't see the vision, and this just might not be for you. And with that point, I don't necessarily disagree. They say something else that I definitely disagree with, which is they start talking about a data sharing model, and that is where I think all of this starts going awry, and I get more of that understanding of, oh, they really didn't think this through. Because in talking about, like, hey, what's the future of this company, they're saying, well, we don't really know what the future is. No one does, which that can't be your answer. This is your company. It's one thing to say, like, oh, we don't know how we're going to evolve and grow, like, over time, but the immediate future, you should know it. Like, you should know what that is, and you should be able to explain that to your consumers. And if you can't, then you need to take it back to the drawing board. Saying that you don't know what the future of your business is means that you're not being a very good business owner. So that's just not, first of all, that's not a correct answer. And secondarily, when they say, we don't really know what the future is, they start throwing out ideas. And you can throw out ideas in the investor phase to try and get investor money in internal meetings when we're trying to drum stuff up. It's not great to be blue skying to your consumer base. Because one, if you're blue skying to your consumer base, they might expect something that you can't deliver. They might really latch on to an idea that you then can't execute. And so then there's all of that kerfuffle. Or two, you can do what they did, which is have an idea that was so bad that everyone hated it. And what they pitched was, well, maybe in the future, other brands could utilize us as kind of like a think tank innovation lab and get their innovations in front of the consumer before anyone else and get your feedback directly. Which one brings up a lot of questions about data privacy concerns. Because again, this is an e-commerce retail brand. I don't care about what they say they are. Functionally, they're an e-commerce beauty retailer. They are selling a product to an end consumer on their website for a fixed price. They ship it to you. Ta-da. While they can claim that they are this big innovation lab, and like maybe that's where their product comes from, the business model is you buy the product on our website and we ship it to you. That's the business model. So as that business model, us as consumers, we've gotten used to giving some amount of information. Obviously, we give retailers our name, our shipping address, our billing address, our credit card information, our phone number in case there's an issue with our order. And while we do that, the brands ask for our consent about, can we add your email to the mailing list? And, can we send you coupons in the mail, stuff like that. We have an already preset kind of understanding of the data that we're willing to share with retailers. What Leaked Labs is describing as part of their ethos is that when you purchase this product, they're going to be asking you for feedback, which is data. Incredible. What did you just walk into is soup making. There was soup making prior to this. The soup is chilling back there. Actually, I might check on it in a minute and see how it's doing. But while the soup is bubbling away, I just talk about whatever is interesting to me. So we're talking about the leaked labs fiasco. So you're just gonna have to catch up or throw your questions in the chat and I'll try and answer them as we go. But to get back to the data privacy concern of it all, if you are then proposing that other brands are going to be utilizing your company as a service, because what they're then describing is no longer the traditional retail model of we are selling the end consumer a product, they are buying it, we are shipping it to them, great. They're now describing basically an agency service that they can do for larger brands where they can partner with them and they can release products together, a collaboration case at minimum, which is an idea, but the problem there is you're asking for feedback, and focus groups are a thing. So let's get into the focus group of it all while I check on the soup really quick. So one of the main concerns that came up as the public was learning about the point of this brand being that they were going to get feedback from consumers to figure out, let the consumer be the product developer, so to speak. One of the things that people pointed out is, hey, so not only is product development a job, but when product developers ask the consumers what they think about the product, we already have a format for that. It's called a focus group. And this happens throughout a lot of the stages of the production of products, is that you bring in a group of people to interact with the product and the packaging, maybe hear a little bit about the marketing and what's great about the product, and they give you your feedback. The thing is, you pay those people for their time and their time and their thoughts, I guess. This is labor that you're asking from your consumer base, and as such, we have been compensating people for their time to do this. So a very obvious issue that was brought up is, hey, are you just making people pay to be in a focus group? And if so, why? Like, we are already in late stage capitalism hell. And now you're trying to make the consumer do more work and pay a premium for it. Because again, as we talked about, this product is priced very expensively for what you're getting. You're paying $40 all in for basically little bendable discs of colored lasagna that you can rub on your face. And after you rub it on your face and play with it, the lipstick lesbians are expecting to hear what you think about it. And they're not paying you for the time that you've spent playing with the product and forming your opinions and typing those all out and sending it to them. They're not compensating you for that. If anything, you gave them $40. So what's the deal? How would that make any sense to anyone? Very valid concern. And the response from the company and the lipstick lesbians was questionable at best. The State of the Union doesn't go over well. They pull it off social medias. And then from a leaked labs perspective, they basically go quiet. But again, Christina and Alexis are influencers. So they have an influencer business that they have to keep going. I'm trying to see when they posted. So yeah, so they post some education videos immediately after the launch. So like the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th, they're posting education videos. The 12th, they post a response video in which they're speaking to a chemist about how the it had to be the sanitary question, like how the preservative system in Flexi Powder works to like assuage people's concerns about it not being sanitary. But after that, they're going several days to a week without posting in between. In the meantime, Christina and Alexis are out at like major beauty conventions, and they're taking a trip to South Korea to do content there. They have partnerships out there. So they have to maintain all of their influencer partnerships during this time because, again, that's a whole separate business outside of Leaked Labs. And they just, after the State of the Union not going well and Instagram comments getting deleted and some of the Instagram responses being weird, they're really not talking about it on their own social media, which, again, they use their own social media to launch this product, to get all of their to get all of the awareness from their own follower base of like, hey, we're releasing a product, you should buy it. But when it starts going wrong, when the public sentiment starts going negative, they just go radio silent. Until April 1st, they post in true beauty community fashion, a gray sweatshirt, dirty bun apology video. But instead of it being on your bedroom floor, they did it from the gate of the airport that they were at, because they were flying back from, again, Korea and Italy for these various commitments that they had that they couldn't get out of. And so they decide to post an apology video that they record in the airport to the Lipstick Lesbians social media. This does not get posted to the brand's social media, Leaked Labs. This gets posted to the Lipstick Lesbians social media, in which they're addressing the concerns about like Leaked Labs and everything that's happened. And it is performative, I think, is probably the main sentiment that people feel, especially because, again, I need you to take this in the framework of the consumer base that they're going after, the people who are interested in the beauty community. People who are interested in the beauty community have seen this time. The beauty community invented gray sweatshirt, messy bun on your bedroom floor. Laura Lee was sobbing about dropping the N-word on Twitter back in 2010? Like, this is a well-trod apology video community, and they're kind of over it. It's 2026 now, and especially the perception of Alexis and Christina in the community is one of education. They're not the traditional influencer in terms of they're followed because they're very pretty, or you know what I mean. They're followed because they're educational content, and because they take themselves seriously, and they take the beauty industry seriously, and they're members of the beauty industry. And the way that they decide to address an issue with their company is to post a beauty influencer apology video from the airport, where you can hear the announcements in the background while they're trying to apologize, which, by the way, it was kind of a non-apology. It was one of the, we agree that we could have communicated better, but really this is working. You guys are giving us the feedback that we asked for. Like, that's the whole point of this company, and not actually answering any of the real concerns that people had. Now, with all of this said, I think that there is a way to salvage this. I do. I think that they definitely went wrong in a lot of areas. The radio silence, that's just, you can't do that. And I think part of what makes this so frustrating is that they're acting like influencers rather than acting like brand owners. And this is one of the issues that influencers get into when they create their own brands, is owning a business is an entirely different game that you're playing versus being a content creator, influencer, someone who is posting on social media for a following. That is its own skill set. But there are so many other skills that you need as a brand owner besides having the marketing covered. And then on top of that, they hired on 2 marketing-focused people to be supporting them with Asha and with, oh God, what was his name? Andrew, maybe? Aren't all men either named Mike or Andrew or something? Anthony. I was close. Anthony. they hire on Asha and Anthony, who are both, I would say, marketing based on their background. I don't know them. But so the marketing they thought that they had covered. And it is like the content is well produced. And they produced these multiple episodes of these docuseries that they then reference in their apology video, which again, why was it posted on April 1st? Not only did they take weeks to address the issue, but then they post the video on April 1st, which is April Fool's Day in the US, and this was a US only launch. So their entire consumer base is in the US. They weren't selling internationally. So you decide to post an apology video on April Fool's Day after not addressing it for weeks. Those are the types of mistakes where, especially if your skill set is marketing, if that's what you're going to be good at in this equation, what are you doing? That makes I don't understand the rationale behind that decision. So what they could do instead, the real issue at the root of this, could they have communicated better? Yes. But honestly, I think the issue was that they don't know what their company is yet either. And that this all happened too soon. I think this was the wrong product to release with. And I actually asked myself the question of why did they pick this first? And from the docuseries that they posted, they have some clips of a product development session that they did back in I think it was January 2025 or something, but back in 2025, they worked with this content creator group. I did pull that piece of information. What are they called? Oh, I didn't pull that piece of information. I wish I had. I would say next time I'm going to do a better job of organizing my notes. But so they worked with a content creator consortium, actually primarily Black creators, which is fantastic. Obviously, we love working with diverse groups. But so it looked like from the video, it was a group of, I would say 15 to 20 people, where Alexis and Christina, as Leaked Labs, presented them with, I think they said 9 different products, 9 different innovations that they were thinking about, and that the overall consensus from that focus group, because that's what that was that Flexi Powder is what should have been released. My question there is, again, how valuable was that focus group? Because the reality of the experience that the consumer is getting is obviously those content creators that worked with them on that focus group, I'm assuming that they didn't have to pay to do this. And if anything, I don't know that if they were paid for their time or if they were paid I don't know what that situation would have been, but I don't know that they necessarily got the experience of paying for $40 for this product, getting it, and then I think that piece was what was missing. Because the reality is this business shouldn't have been just a straight e-commerce play of anyone can buy this, especially if you're asking something of your consumer. And that's one of the things that they mention in their apology video, is that they didn't realize, they were well, this was really for the beauty enthusiast, someone who basically they're this isn't for the everyday consumer. This is for someone who has thoughts and opinions about beauty and wants to be part of the new thing. But then why did you let basically just anyone buy it? There are 3 options that they can do with moving forward. 1, if they want to keep doing this brand, if that's what they want to do, I think that Alexis and Christina need to buy in 100%. If you want to run a brand, you need to back burner your social media careers and focus on this brand, because there's a lot more work that needs to be done on this concept. You could take this in a subscription model basis of this could be a quarterly drop where you sign up for a subscription box, and as part of the box you understand that you're going to once a quarter get a new product, get to play with it, have your responses due by a certain amount of time. And and if you limit it more like that into more of a subscription model, you can then put more time into that packaging in terms of you can you can design out the subscription box, especially if you're saying that you're not going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting on the packaging of the product itself. You still need to make a good experience for your consumer. So you can lean in more there, and at least then people know what they're signing up for. Additionally, this would be great for like an email list exclusive or like a Patreon exclusive. This needs to be for their core fan base, for the fan base that really actually cares about the beauty education and all of that. This very easily could have been a, hey, if you're on our email list, you get first access to this concept. You can sign up and be a part of this, and then it's a recurring fee type of situation. You could do something like that. Or if they don't want to walk away from their content creation, just make this a reality show at this point. Like, instead of the docuseries thing, which again is also very played out in the beauty community space, especially after the whole Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson fiasco and what happened there. The beauty space is kind of over. That, like, if you're going to produce content for it, go big or go home and create a reality show where, you know, Alexis and Christina are the hosts, and you have on a group of, say, 12, you know, product developers, or, you know, aspiring product developers, people who care. You know, I don't know how you need to cast it, but you bring those people on. And week by week they try out a new invention, and then like the season finale is the best idea that someone came up with. They get to manufacture it, and then you can buy that product. That can be the consumer facing product, is the finalized version that gets made over this reality TV show. Because if you just want a consumer ready product, it can't be this product development style game that you're trying to play. The market has already proven that they don't want it. They don't want it. They don't want to play in this sandbox. So you need to limit the sandbox either in how people buy it or in who actually gets to play this game to then get the final product. But if you want to go that reality TV route, the main issue is you're probably going to need a larger investor or partnership with this, which I think honestly might be a good path to take. I know that based on the brand ethos, Christina and Alexis don't want to be partnered with a big conglomerate because their whole thing is that it takes the big conglomerates too long to get anything out. However, they are very good at running businesses. So what if they partnered with like a large beauty retailer or a big beauty brand, big beauty conglomerate, and they could just be like the innovation arm? And so they can have all of the support of this larger conglomerate, and they can help them with creating the larger ethos of the brand and communicating it. Because the reality is, part of the issue here is that Christina and Alexis didn't have enough time to commit and execute to this. Otherwise, so many more of the questions would have been answered from the outset. What do you mean by when you say you want our feedback? They sent out, I guess, like a Google form like a week or two after the people got the products with like generic questions on it. So that gives me kind of the feeling that they didn't really think through like how they're going to collect this data, other than like people are going to post about it on social media. And anyone who works in any sort of data analysis or trying to understand consumer feedback or reaction, like social media is good for like a pulse, but like trying to analyze the content data on social media, that's just a mess. Like, you need people to like be submitting responses in a way that you can then analyze. It just like, that's clearly not enough thought was put into that part of the conversation. So they could partner with a larger conglomerate who would have thoughts, ideas, processes, operations already set up to gather these types of things, to help them flesh out what this idea is supposed to be, and then bring it back to market. Now, if they don't want to do either of those things, if they don't want to go fully in and really flesh out what this is going to be on their own and, you know, really take ownership of it, and they don't want to partner with someone else who's going to help them do that, then the reality is this just isn't the concept for them. I mean, if they want to just sell a product, they should just restart their original lipstick line. I mean, they're the lipstick lesbians. People know that now. People would buy lipsticks from them now. Now that they've, gone viral and they've cemented themselves in the larger community, people would buy lipsticks from them. And I don't even know if they're good or not, but I think people would still buy them. If you're not willing to put in the work that it's going to take to come up with a really, truly different business model, like you say, don't make it more complicated for yourself. Just sell some lipsticks. You can get some e-commerce revenue that way. It's essentially merchandise. Just open a merch store, sell some lipsticks, sell some t-shirts. You can get another revenue stream, and you can keep your social media business going at the same time. And they can still they tried doing like a weird course thing where you could learn about, I don't know if it was about like creation or application or whatever, but they did like an ed tech thing because of Christina's ed tech background, and I don't think that ended up being very successful either. But everyone has a course these days. You can sell a course too. And again, that doesn't take a lot of extra work after you set it up and forget it. This concept, this leaked labs concept, in which they're going to be constantly leaking new innovations and taking in consumer feedback and then tweaking how these products, there's so much work into that. That has to be your full focus if that's what you're going to do. And based on the feedback that we just saw of them launching their product when they knew they were going to be traveling for a month so that they didn't have the time to address the concerns of their consumer base, clearly they weren't treating it with the importance that it deserves if they're going to be these brand owners and creators. So that's my POV there. That's my 2 cents. If you want a better understanding of what the actual situation was, because this was more, if you already know what's going on, or if you can follow my thought process, you might have enjoyed this. But I have a bunch of links in the description of other shows, of other people talking about the situation in which they go a lot more in depth of what happened when and people's feedback and everything. But I wanted to look at it from this more business perspective, because it's the failure, the success and then the failure, the success of the marketing and the failure of the corporate communication is just a classic tale in the beauty community. And it's one that I don't think people were expecting out of the lipstick lesbians. I think that they've lost a lot of trust that they had in the community over this, which is commonplace when there is a brand flop like this. It's not the first, it's not going to be the last. But what makes this one so interesting is that I don't think that this product flopped because it was necessarily bad. I don't think it's good. Basically, the feedback on this product was everyone was like, what's the point of this? It's not a product yet. But that's the point of their brand, is we're bringing it to you before it's a consumer-ready product. But they didn't communicate that well enough to the people who were buying it, because they didn't limit their consumer base appropriately. If you're not narrowing in on who your target audience is, who you want to be interacting with your brand at this early stage, you're gonna get people who quote unquote don't get it. But secondarily, they didn't get it because you didn't really have, you being Leaks Labs didn't really have an understanding of how this was supposed to work. They had an idea, they had enough to pitch investors and get investment money, and they had enough to continue moving forward in the process. But I don't know that anyone really sat down and thought through, okay, so once someone buys this, then what? What's going to happen? It's a great idea. It needed so much more fleshing out, or it needed to have a much more targeted audience so that they could make these mistakes in pseudo privacy rather than making these mistakes in front of the entire beauty community. So that's my 2 cents. Is it a terrible idea for a company? No. I think that it's a niche idea. So I think that if they really narrow it down to the people who will want to play in this way, that it might be successful. But I don't know that they're ready to commit the time and energy that it's going to take to really make this type of concept work. This is the type, when you're creating a new business model, so to speak. I mean, because this truly could just be that they picked the wrong one. They should just really be doing subscription boxes or something, the other things I described. But in all of their corporate jargon that they have posted, that's like 30% word salad at minimum. They have these grand visions and ideas of, allowing people access, before, allowing them to play as the product developer, yada, yada, yada. Like, if you're going to be creating something new, you need to think it through before you bring it to people. There should have been more pushback on how is this going to work. There was a lot of trust in this is going to go well and everyone's going to love it. There was not enough thought into, okay, and what if we get negative feedback? And what if this doesn't go the way that we planned it? Because if there was any thought in that realm, I would imagine that they wouldn't have immediately gone on a trip for a month after launching not only launching a product, launching their brand, the entire brand, launching it. Not just a product. It just questionable. All of it was questionable. Anywho, that is actually my 2 cents now. To my friend who said I thought that this was about soup, this will now become about soup. We will transition back into the soup part of this because the soup should be coolish enough for me to play with it again. So let me bring you back over to the soup section. I think that was Post-Sex Clarity by Lola Young that I was singing, if I'm correct. Okay. Now I have my crispy prosciutto. Now I can just crumble it. Yes, that's gonna be so good on top. Okay. Okay, we have crispy prosciutto for the top. We have breadcrumbs. We have croissant up. I call them croissants. What are they? Croutons. We have croutons for the top. Okay, let's look at the soup. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, let me switch you. Switch you to the closed cam. The closed cam is over here. Okay. Do. All right, here's how we're looking. So what we're gonna do next, I'm fairly certain. I'm going to double check the recipe, but I think we're just adding in, I think it's supposed to be heavy cream, but I'm going to be doing half and half, right? Because I have half and half, and I buy heavy cream. Remove the thyme, and then transfer your soup to a blender. No, I've got an immersion blender, so we're blending in the pot, baby. Am I pouring anything into the soup? Oh, it doesn't want me to pour... Oh, it says I can pour stuff into the soup optionally. Okay, well, I am going to take that option. That option is for me. So what we're going to do, good soup. I saw that comment, good soup. I got to find the time. I was a little aggressive in stirring, and now I got to find the time. Who's got the time? Not me. I got to find it in this soup. Why is this harder than it should be to find the time? No, I tied it into a little bundle for this express purpose of being able to fish it out when I was done. Oh my goodness, this has become something that I didn't think through enough. Oh no! Was the time worth all of this? Okay, low-key though. I'm gonna have to turn on a flashlight and grab some tongs and really figure this situation out. Okay, this has just become a rescue situation, you guys. Okay, where are my tongs? I have 87 things in this container that holds all of my utensils. And here are the tongs. Okay. All right. Your second camera is now going to be used. I don't want to disconnect, but I do want to use my flashlight. Flashlight! Okay. Where is this? Where is it? I would give up, but I'm not blending. I'm not blending twine into my soup. I have to draw the limit somewhere. Oh my God. What's going on here, team? I didn't hallucinate putting the thyme in, right? I did a whole thing and I tied it to... Oh! There it is. Success! Theoretically, I think it came untied. Oh no, okay. I think all the time came off of the little stems. Okay, because I was like, this is not as robust as it once was. Okay, we found it. Success. Okay, I'm throwing this away in the trash can. That's on the other side of your charger cord. So this is a difficult situation for me. Okay, then next, I'm gonna back you up a little bit. Susie, you are directly in the way down here. She is not. Oh my God, I almost closed you guys. See, this is why we're using the second camera. Okay, hold on. Oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay after what I did to you? Hold on, you're tilted. You're tilted. Okay, that's better. She's moved now, thank God. Okay, that's helpful. This is not a very stable bar cart. I've had this for well too long. Okay, oh, goodbye, Paige. I'm glad that you had fun. Okay. Here's my half and half. Half and half, quick smell test, because you never know. It's good. Okay, we're gonna pour a little bit in. And I'm just gonna eyeball it. It says 1/4 to 1/2 cup of heavy cream. But one, I'm using half and half, and two, I measure with my heart when it comes to cream-based items. So now I have to figure out where I put my immersion blender. I think it is up in here. It should be. This is where all of my things. Yes, right in here. Okay. This is where all of my things that plug and go. Okay. So we take off the little butt because it does a multitude of things, including being a mini food processor. Look how tiny. It's what I use to make mini breadcrumbs. Okay, and then I put this little doodad on it. And then, so what I would love is if there was a power outlet right here by the stove, but there's not. But there is a power outlet over here. So, will it stretch? You know what? How about this? Rather than doing it that way, because that would immediately go bad, I'm going to move the soup pot over here. That seems like a better plan. Okay, we're working this out as we go, team. I don't immerse my soups all that often. Again, this is what happens when we try new things. We figure it out together. But this is also why I try new recipes when I'm pretty sure I'm not going to have anyone come over. Because I like to test things out first and like play around with recipes a little bit before I make them for other people. Kind of like what Leaked Labs should have done. They should have played around with it before they released it, but that's just me. But so between that and it being asparagus season, there just were too many good reasons for us to switch up what we usually do. Okay, we're bringing this over here. Okay, I'm bringing you over here with me. You can join me in this process. Oh, you can kind of see the soup when I do it this way. Okay, now, do I remember how to use this? I'll figure it out. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I press the lock button. I'm going to do low. Okay. I have the power! I have the power! It's turning into something that resembles like a mushy pea soup situation. Okay, hold on. Let's take a break so that I can swap you to the other camera view so you can see what's going on here. This is where we're at right now. This is where we're at currently. This consistency. Can I do this one-handed? Oh, you're in it now, team. Can I do it? Yeah, I can do it. We're in this together, team. Oh. It's becoming hard to do it one-handed, but we're gonna keep going for a minute because I don't think that this should be a chunky soup. I think that this should be fully blended. I don't. Yes, high speed. Oh, that was a weird noise. Like if this was was like a potato-y situation, you know, like I might leave that a little chunky, or like I'll leave a tomato soup a little bit chunky sometimes. But this doesn't seem to be a chunk situation to me. Smoother is better in this situation. I think we're almost there. Okay, let me show you what we're working with. Okay, this is our current texture. So I think this is kind of correct. Let me grab a spoon. Oh my God, why are the spoons the furthest thing away? Okay, there we go. Okay, let's give this a taste test. Okay, I think seasoning is pretty good overall. We're definitely gonna add this lemon for acid for sure. That was part of Janine's instructions, and I do agree with Janine. I'm also gonna zest it a little bit. I'll throw some zest on top when I serve it for myself. Let me just do some zest. Okay. Yeah, just enough zest to be dangerous, and then I'm too lazy. Oh, the big knife is over here. The big knife! Let's just slice this in half. And then, I'm not gonna be precious about this, just kind of squeeze it in. Catch the seeds in your hand. I'm gonna do the full half. I think if you're less ambitious than I am, you could just do like a squeeze or two and then go from there. But I want a good amount of acid in here before I decide if I want any more salt. Okay, let's give this another taste. It was closer. Yeah. Okay, we're getting there, team. It's good. It tastes bright, and that was because it's starting to become not soup season anymore. And I know that sounds sacrilegious for me to say because soup night is always soup night, and this is actually something that we might need to chit chat about. Is it okay if I make foods other than soup on soup night? Because once we get into summer and it's like 90 degrees out here, I don't know, I'm like, a girl can only gazpacho so many times, you know what I mean? So I can keep it alliterative, and we can do like, you know, salads and sandwich so that we're not moving too far away from the S of it all. But no decisions have been made yet. Okay, we could still soup. We're souping right now, but that's part of why I'm excited about this soup in particular, because even though it is warm out and we want to be getting our freshness in, this is still a good way to do it. Okay, I think that we are fully blended. Boop. And then I'm actually just going to throw this back on the heat a little bit because I actually let it cool a little bit too much because I was too busy chit-chatting. We're too busy talking. So I'm going to get that back on the heat a little bit. But I'm going to start making a bowl for myself because I feel like I can't let you go without you seeing the final product. And we are starting to wrap our evening, team. I have kept you around for hours at this point. You've been keeping me company. And I hope that you guys have had a fun time doing it. I know this is really, this is just because I'm not doing anything better with my evening, but it's nice that you came and joined me for it. Actually, everyone hydrate. Grab your water. Hydrate moment. I looked at my ceiling again when I drank the water and saw the bubbles. And that reminded me that I got to talk to my landlord in the morning. Okay. But that's a tomorrow problem. Right now, my only problem is making this delicious bite of soup for myself. So let's get that going. Okay, I'm going to grab my bowl. Reminder that this basil plant is just so beautiful. Also, this is a really cool hand-painted. It says always loyal. And I found it actually at a tattoo shop that I went to in Chicago Not for a tattoo, actually. It was when I got my double piercings done. I got them done at a tattoo shop in Boys Town in Chicago. And they were selling those mugs as well. And I saw that one and I just had to have it. And it's the perfect size for my little basil plant. So that's where it tends to live. But I am thinking about, because I'm grabbing my soup supplies. My friend Tiffany made this bowl. My friend Tiffany actually she throws pots. And so she made all of these bowls. I'm going to grab some all for you. She made all of these bowls while she was learning her pottery. And she like stacked them up to like donate them when I was at her place one time. And I was like, I like those bowls. I will take them. So she gave me all the bowls. So this is, all of my bowls are courtesy of Tiffany. But they're all different sizes, so that can make it somewhat interesting for when I have guests for soup night. But we've made things work, don't you worry. If you come for soup, you get soup. I would never stop a limit of bowls keep you from getting soup. We have mugs, okay? We have other receptacles. I collect glass jars to keep things in. We could throw some soup in there. Okay. I think we're just starting to get a bubble, toilet trouble, a reheat situation. Yeah, we're heating back up. We're heating back up, team. Oh yeah, and it didn't need any more salt, especially because, so, I have multiple dairy topping options. We could drizzle like a half and half sour cream combo. We could just sour cream it. Or, this might be delicious with it, some goat cheese on top, like the goat cheese with the prosciutto and the bread and like the croutons. What do I want to do? Do I want to do sour cream or do I want goat cheese? Neither is the wrong choice, but they're just two different vibes. I'll think on it while I scoop. Okay. Let's start with the scoop. Look at that. Okay. 2 good scoops of soup. 2 good soup scoops. Okay. Let's throw on. I made way too many croutons off at the top. But that will keep me from having to make more croutons tomorrow. Okay. Lots of croutons. Again, because I love myself. Lots of crispy prosciutto. Okay. All right, now's the moment of truth. I think with the prosciutto on it, I'm gonna stick with sour cream. Ooh, taste test. Okay, thank you, Mel. Great idea. Great idea. You win. Okay, we have a concept. We have a concept at play. Let me grab the dishes for it. Hold, please, team, before we commit. Let's do a tiny taste test, shooter style. Okay, so in one tiny bowl, we're gonna do it topped with the sour cream. In the other tiny bowl, we're gonna do it topped with goat cheese. And now, for this bite, I will be putting the prosciutto on because I think the prosciutto is going to be a factor here. The saltiness of the prosciutto. My concern is that it would be too salty with the prosciutto and the goat cheese. But it might also be magical. So, okay. We've got our sour cream. And hold on. I got new goat cheese because I couldn't remember if I had goat cheese in the fridge. But I have goat cheese in the fridge. But as we discussed earlier, I do need to clean out my fridge. So let's see what we're working with here. No. New goat cheese it is. Woo! Okay. New goat cheese. New goat cheese. Cheddar cheese in with the goats. Okay. All right. Would you like to vote for which one you think is going to win, goat cheese or sour cream? Okay, this is the one that opens this side. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to grab a little bit and put it right on top. A little bit more. I want to make sure that I get a full taste of like the flavor that I'm dealing with. Lick it off my fingies. And then, sour. Oh, I bought light sour cream. What a bummer. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It'll still be good, but why buy light sour cream when you get a full fat sour cream? You know what I mean? But maybe I'm just a Midwesterner. Okay. Excuse me, Miss Chicken. All right. We will do. Tiny it up. Right there. Okay. Now, let the competition begin. In one corner, nope, we're gonna have to change. We're gonna have to change the camera angle for this one. Okay. Let me show you our two opportunities. Okay. Are you ready for this? There we go. Okay. So, oh my God, it doesn't know what to do with this information. This is actually hilarious. Is that, okay, there we go. In this corner, I have my sour cream. In this corner, I have my goat cheese. These are my two tastings. So, let's see. We'll start with sour cream. The tried true original. Sláinte. There's a little bit more than one bite of soup, I will say. The soup is banging though. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna try the goat cheese. I think it could use a little extra hit of salt from the goat cheese. It's gotta be goat cheese. It's gotta be goat cheese. Yeah. Goat cheese it is. Okay. Love. Fantastic suggestion, Mel. Okay, we're going with goat cheese, team. But the sour cream was good. The sour cream was good. I would say if you're going to do sour cream, that you should do a little bit of like a salt, like a Malden sea salt, like a finishing salt, pepper, and actually I have some dill, right? The dill would, I mean, she requested the dill for a purpose, to top with dill. And I do agree with her. It would be dill with dill on it. No, that's for me, chicken. Okay. Let us finish this. We are going to, don't judge how I'm using my goat cheese. It's my goat cheese. Okay. I'm going to grab a fork. I'm going to crumble this on. Oh my goodness. Okay. I usually do a better job crumbling, but it's a decent job. It's a decent crumble. Okay. There's a lot of crumble. I treat myself kindly with this goat cheese. Okay. We're going to pepper. We're going to do a little bit of some of that lemon zest on top. And then I'm too lazy to chop this, so I'm literally just going to pop up a frond on the top and then just kind of like tear it in there. Yeah, just, it doesn't need to be fancy, it just needs to be delicious. All right. Three and a half hours later, we have our soup. There she is. Isn't she gorgeous? That is a delicious bowl of soup and wine. We've done it. Well, that concludes our soup night. The soup has been made. Thank you guys so much for joining me for soup night. I'm gonna go enjoy my bowl of soup and talk to my dog now because I've ignored her for the past 3.5 hours and she's not used to that, clearly. She's sniffing around to see if she can't find anything that I dropped that's delicious. But little does she know I'm gonna give her a crunchy in just a second. So, I hope you had fun with me. Make sure to drink some water, stand up, give yourself a good stretch, and we'll do this again soon. This was fun.
Maybe we'll do another new soup next time, but I don't really know what's going on. Unlike with Lilith Labs, they should know what their business is about. I don't know what my business is about. That's not for me to know. It's not for me to know. Oh, I'm glad you got your photo edits done, Mel. Thank God. Thank you for joining me. You really did the long haul with me today, and I appreciate it. And I will talk to you. Well, I'll talk to you tomorrow, my dear. I'll have bright and early, you and me, to do that migration station. But the rest of you, I'll see you guys next time.